就这么刮，也不对，刮砂锅得怎么刮呢？你知道吗？这抹上油了，压到底儿，看到没？快，这就刮出来。你看你刮的，他这个刮这个疼啊，搂筋那个呢。
你们真正被刮它不疼是不是？
它疼啊，它这样不是说不疼，它假如说它先刮这一片，它从上面开始，就这局部稍微有一点疼，但是刮过去了。
What's good, Chief? Oh, damn, Chief fell out. Damn. All right, Halito, CEO, Yahweh, honorable admiration, brothers and sisters of the feather. Got a lot going on, y'all. I'm over here at work, putting in work, giving people that work, you know what I'm saying, giving them a career they really need it. Hey, Chief, I got you back in.
South American Aborigines, man. Hey, man, y'all see the title, man. We're going to get into this, man. Shout out to Kurimeo, man. The 3-part, really like 1 part and then 2 little short parts, you know, I guess to be added to this thing. It's the origin of America, where America comes from. So I thought it was the best breakdown for this, man. And, you know, so shout out to Kurimeo, man, and hope y'all enjoy this, man. Yeah, let's get into it. Shout out to Lotus Civilization. Shout out to Data, man. Shout out to all the squad killers, man. We definitely appreciate all the hard work everybody put in, man. So salute to y'all, man. Yeah, man. Shout out to last night's show, man. We had a great time, man. Bill, man. Burroughs Cave out there in Illinois, man. I thought that was pretty dope. Show those artifacts, man. You can't unsee some of this stuff, man. Once you see it, it's like, wait a minute. I've seen it now, you know what I mean? It's in your psyche, it's in your computer now. You know what I mean? So salute to that, man. We definitely, man, appreciate all the thumbs up, you know what I'm saying, all the support we get, man. It's just overwhelming. So salute to everybody, man. We definitely appreciate it. Like I said, man, I hope you enjoy this right here. We're gonna be, you know, checking it out, man, and come on the other side of it and have a conversation about it. Like I said, shout out to Kurimeo. Only man come in, man. Break some of this stuff down, man. Shout out to everybody, man. Peace all the great ones. In the building. You're not. Let's go. Lotus, what you got going on, brother?
Oh, nothing, man. Working hard as usual, putting in work. You know what I'm saying? Enjoying this mix, you know, it's major love for our good brother Kurimeo, one of our good brothers of the feather. So I'm definitely enjoying it. I was excited to see that the good brother came back. Kurimeo. We should start doing that for all our brothers and sisters. Real talk. Real talk. So I love it that, man, we got to start spreading the love, sharing the love, and showing that we really appreciate our brothers and sisters, those that are on the platforms, those that support the platforms, and those that decide to come on and express and share and donate and support the real. And I have major love and respect for y'all, and I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be, personally. You know what I mean? But how you doing out there, good brother? And enjoying that sunny weather?
All is well, man. We grinding, y'all, you know, putting things together. Behind the scenes, man. We wanted to play this video, man, so y'all could check this out, man. There's always a discussion about, Amerigo Vespucci. America's named after Amerigo Vespucci, and that's just the most played out lie ever, right? You know what I mean? So they found Amaru Khans when they came here, Amariques when they came here, period. But we're gonna break all that down. Or Kurimeo's gonna break that down in this video, man. So salute to Kurimeo. Shout out to everybody, man. Like I said, man, to do this work, man. We could be going all night, you know what I'm saying? So salute to y'all, man. And like I said, we're gonna come back on the other side of this first part and break it down. So let's go. Peace and love to everybody. Let's get it, bro. Let me get to the chat room real fast. Yeah, man. Shout out to everybody in the building. We got Po Jaguar in the building. Copper Tribe or No Tribe.
Get ready. We're going in for a jaw dropping.
Tehran Herring in the building. Miss Sylvia Williams in the building. Peace to the guys, man. King Rock, that love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. People. Rick T. Valentine L. Luke N. Jones, peace and love, Empress. We got Bo Blues in the building. Mr. Aboriginal Smith. Chief Wahoo. Peace to the guys, man. We got Original Night Wolf. That's right. We're going to get it. I'm on the clock. when I'm tuned in. Shout out to Original Night Wolf, man. We definitely appreciate that. Yeah, I get a mod for that. Shout out to Be Busy in the building. I just signed this petition to tell at Governor Abbott to stop the execution of Rodney Reed. You should too. This man is proven innocent. Word. Yeah, man, we might have to get into that story a little later on. Be busy, man. Definitely. I'm just now hearing about this today, man. So, absolutely, anybody, whatever we could do, man, to help out, let's do it. Shout out to Libra Son in the building. Peace of the God, man. Yeah, man. Like I said, man, let's support the real, man. Fuck the fake, man. We're in the building, man. Like I said, man, we just gonna keep bringing this information. Shout out to Kurimeo. We're gonna get into this, man. Let's go, Lotus.
Yes, Shalom, Amaru Khans. Hope everyone is doing well. Much love and respect to the real ones out there, the Amaru Khans. Yes, that's what we're going to be discussing in this video, the name America, right? And we're going to go into the true origin of this name. And I'm going to show you this is an indigenous name to Amaraca. Yes, Amaraca or Amerique, America. And this is not named after Vespucci, all right? This continent, this land is not named after Vespucci, all right? So enough with the lies, all right? So let's begin right away. Hawa.
Hold on, y'all. We need to have that on full screen.
All right, so before we begin the video and the topic, right, just want to, remind everybody who we're talking about when they're talking about this is an indigenous word. This is from indigenous people from this indigenous land here in Amaraca, Amaruca, America. All right, so these are the people that we're talking about. We're talking about the Aborigines, right? The copper color races of America, right? So just to have a reference, all right? Seminoles, as you can see. All right, West Indians. All right, look at this, a Chippewaquitic band of the Wampanoag. Look at that, Seminole women. All right, Wampanoag. This is Fred Thomas and his wife Cora Thomas. All right, you can see how they depict America always, so-called Negro, right? So it's not just Africa, right? Nez Perce near Meepo, Pelton, Oregon. All right, we got American Indian and a white man. Look at the difference. All right. And we have a Ute man, which Casa and his wife Apatwema, 1899. All right, remember who they're showing in these tobacco ads and then who they're showing in these slave ads. It's the same people. It's American Indians, right? And we see the last so-called Wampanoag. They say is the last one that was alive. This is a picture of her. All right. This is a Benaki Indian, an Abenaki Indian, a basket maker. This person has been identified as Caroline Tahamont Masta. All right. And, we already know what Walter Plecker did, right? How he switched native people to color, to Negro, to white, black. All right. How they reclassified your ancestors. And now they call you Negro, colored, African American. All right. But remember, this is the main thing we're going to be talking about in this video. All right. Because the Americans or the Amarucans, they're not African. As you can see in this map called Atlas Novus Sive Tabulae Geographicae, very famous depiction of the so-called regions and races of the earth. All right. And you see on this right side how it has the 4 different corners, right? And you see America right here, top right. bottom right is Africa, and then you will see like Asia on this side, and the bottom left in Europe. All right. So this is a close-up of America. You see him pointing at America. You see, these are the Aboriginal people from this. This is how they depicted you in all the ancient old maps and all depictions, most of them before the 1800s. All right, because that was the truth. You are the Aboriginal, so-called African American. You are the indigenous person. You are the Amaru Khans. So that's why I want to show you about the word America. This is your land. This is your Amaru, your beloved land, Tamari, right? The land of the Plumed Serpent, right? Quetzalcoatl, Amaru, the snake dynasty, the Khans, the Nagas. You are the Nagas, all right? You are the copper-colored races of America, the Aborigines, all right? Big shout out, much love to Ab the Legend. Been teaching everyone for years, all right? Respect.
All right, guys, I'm in my super sick car and I'm at my super sick mansion, and then, oh wait, I'm in an alley in Pittsburgh getting out of my Volkswagen Golf. Kale, what do you got to say to the people right now?
I got to tell you a little bit about Amazon FBA, and most of the time the gurus are there with their girls and the boobs are out and they got the Ferraris, but what I got is a whiteboard and a Volkswagen. Okay, so here's the thing, guys, you are here, okay, you're right down here, and we need to get you up here to the 100K club and to the quit job club. And a lot of the gurus will say, hey, I've had 10 million people quit their jobs. I've had 100,000 bazillion people make $10 billion a year, and they get Ferraris too. Guess what? I'm not telling you that. We've had 100 people get to the $100,000 a year mark on Amazon, and 100 people quit their 9-to-5 jobs. Here's an example of a guy named Gary, and here's an example of a guy named Wes. You take over.
Okay, here's what we're doing, guys. We are offering a 100% free training on Amazon, okay? Like we said before, everybody's like offering these free Amazon trainings, and it's like, look at my Lamborghinis, look at my houses, look at my stuff. I got it all. That's not what we're doing. We're literally in an alley in Pittsburgh. We are offering a free Amazon training, in fact, but there's a couple questions that like we get a lot, and I kind of just want to answer those off the get-go. So, Kel, what's actually like the first question we get? Switch.
Is this a scam? And you probably get this now that we're not trying to do any of the scammy things like Ferrari, Lambos, all this. This is actually your real car, right, Taylor?
Yes.
Like this isn't fake. There's not a Lamborghini hidden behind a green.
It is my real car. Hold on.
Do you see one? Where's the Lambo?
No.
I don't know.
Hold on. Here are my keys. Proof. Proof.
We're not doing the scammy stuff because it's not a scam. You guys can read up on us, do whatever you need to do, but we've actually got 100 people here. And then Amazon FBA as a whole, bro, 1 million people make over $100,000 per year on Amazon. You can look that up. There's articles literally on CNBC about it. Go, Taylor,
Guys,
go.
Why would we teach others? If we're so good at it, why would we offer anybody anything? Why wouldn't we just keep it all close to the chest and do everything ourselves and never have any competition? Okay, here's a question I have, okay? I want to pose this question, why teach others, okay? Why does Mike Krzyzewski coach at Duke basketball?
Good point.
Why does Roy Williams coach at Carolina for basketball, right? Why do you have professors in college that teach you things, okay? A, it's because there's always a bigger fish. There's always somebody who has more knowledge than you, and you have to share. That's how the world works. Plus, it's fun.
Yep.
I like teaching and helping people to help what I do, right? Third, being an entrepreneur can be lonely sometimes. It's way more fun to do it with other people. And fourth, guys, we're not going to lie about it. Eventually, we do make money off this. This is another revenue stream for us. But right now we're talking about a free Amazon training you have to pay nothing for.
Yeah, 4 things. Wow, that was pretty good, bro.
Good.
Okay, so the last thing people always want to know. I'm 6'8", by the way. I'm trying to kneel down by this freaking board. Oh, shoot. I'm not supposed to say that. We'll bleep it out. This thing right here, the shape that you see, this is not what we're doing, okay? You're not putting someone here and then putting someone here and putting someone here, and eventually you're like some weird sandwich.
Wait, Kel.
It's not a weird sandwich.
You're telling me that I'm gonna make money off selling actual products to actual people, not like trying to get other people
Literally, you're going to sell physical products on Amazon.com.
Okay, just checking.
How complicated is that? When you go on Amazon, did you know that 75% of everything that you buy on Amazon is sold by people like me and you, Taylor? Well, guess what? I knew that, but these people don't know it, and that's why you got to come to the free training to learn a little bit more about it. Okay,
guys, the absolute best thing, I'm laying on the ground right now.
Literally laying.
The best thing about all of this is that at the end of this, there is no offer made.
Literally.
We're not going to ask you for money at the end of this. We're not going to say, hey, did you like the training? Now buy something, okay? What we're offering at the end of this training is simply a phone call. If you have more questions, you want to ask some questions, you want somebody to tell you more about Amazon FBA, you can get on a phone call if you're interested. If you're not, then keep scrolling on Facebook. I don't care. Just do it. That's
literally, my man was laying on the ground, guys. That's what we got, okay? What do you have to lose? We got two guys in an alleyway telling you that we're going to teach you about Amazon. It might sound weird, but here's the thing.
Wait, Kale, show him the Lamborghini behind the green screen over there. Just kidding,
crap. You take this one small step, guys. You take this one leap of faith, click one button and watch one video, and it might just change your whole life. We're not going to sell you anything. We're not going to do anything crazy. You have to click one button, take 20 minutes of your time and watch one video, and you might change your life. That's a pretty good deal.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What do you have to lose?
Clap. Over with. Hey, turn your car on. I want them to hear what it sounds like. Does it sound like a Lamborghini?
Okay, wait,
hold on.
A Lamborghini sounds like this, okay?
Here we go. Start it up. Yeah, that's pretty good.
It was like instead of like a, it was like a,
and that's what your Amazon business will do. It won't make a huge bang. It won't make you $1 million tomorrow, but what it will do is make you steady income that will allow you to change your life, quit your 9-to-5 job, join the 100K club like hundreds of other people have already done before you. And you know what they did to get there? They clicked one button that you have on your screen right now and came and watched one video. So we'll see you guys there, and I hope you enjoy it. Bye. Peace.
Damn it, man.
Long before Europeans began making maps of the New World, the Native Americans called their land Amaraca, or Amaraca for short. Whereas the controversies concerning the discovery of America are well known. What is not well known is the controversy concerning the naming of America. In public school, we are erroneously taught that the Americas were named after Italian explorer and cartographer Amerigo Vespucci. The term America, we are told, is derived from the Latin version of Vespucci's first name, Americus. This fallacy was bolstered by one primary source, Waldseemüller's 1507 world map entitled Universalis Cosmographia, drafted by German cartographers Martin Waldseemüller and Matthias Ringmann. The map was the first to assign a name to the New World, America, which historians have proffered as proof that the continent was christened after Vespucci, since he held more firmly to the growing consensus that this was indeed a new world.
All right, so we begin with the book, which is called Spanish and Portuguese South America During the Colonial Period by Robert Grant Watson. It says editor of Murray's Handbook of Greece, 4th edition, and also author of a book called The History of Persia. So he's very popular and with these historical books, right? A scholarly source. All right, so we're gonna read what he has to say about our topic today. All right, so we're gonna begin. They start talking about Amerigo Vespucci, right? The name of America and all that. And it's very interesting because we're gonna address this in this video. All right, it says Appendix 1. It says it would naturally be expected that in a work of this kind there should be some reference made to the long pending discussion respecting the letter addressed by Amerigo Vespucci to Lorenzo de Medici. All right, so we're gonna dodge the hijack with this whole America. We're gonna see why. All right, why I'm saying that. By which it would appear that Vespucci had visited the coast of Paria in the year 1497. That is to say, in the year previous to that of the first visit of Columbus to the South American continent. All right, so a year before Columbus reached South America. And that therefore, supposing this visit to be established, Amerigo Vespucci and not Columbus was the first European discoverer of the South American continent. So they're saying he discovered South America, even though Columbus got there to the Caribbean before him. All right, so either way, none of them discovered anything, right? This question is one of the very first importance as regards history or geography, since on its solution depends not only the question after whom the great South American continent should be called, all right, but likewise the fair fame of Vespucci's name. All right, says here Appendix 2. The Italian traveler Benzoni, who had been referred to in the preceding pages, has been quoted by Robertson Irvin and helps, but considering the unique position which he holds as being the first foreign critic of the proceedings of the Spaniards in South America, I scarcely think that his volume has received the full attention which it deserves at the hands of modern writers on Spanish South America. I would therefore draw attention to some extracts from his work, begging the reader to bear in mind that they proceed by no means from a man of the mold of Las Casas, but from one who, by his own confession, took part in a slave hunting expedition. All right, so they're saying, all right, we're going to read this account from this person. He ain't no angel like Las Casas. That's what they're saying. He actually was a slaver. All right, it says the author in question was nevertheless, as he states, a devout Christian. So even though he was enslaving American Indians, because that's what we're talking about here, not Africans, the author in question, it says, was nevertheless a devout Christian. And he dedicates his history of the New World to Pope Pius the Fourth. All right, so it says Benzoni, all right, remember the slaver, started for America in the year 1541, and there spent 14 years of toil and travail, landing at the Gulf of Paria. All right, this is in South America, I believe close to Venezuela, or in Venezuela today. He proceeded to Cuba and other islands, returning thence to Acla. When he crossed to Panama, from which place he visited the kingdom of Peru. The kingdom of Peru. In this wandering course, he passed 14 years. Benzoni is the author who is originally responsible for the well-known story of Columbus and the egg. He states that whilst at Amaracapana, all right, let me take that off so you can see that. Amaracapana. All right, so let's zoom in a little bit. It's a little better, right? I want you guys to see this. So, Amaracapana. So while he was at Amaracapana, this is in South America, they're talking about Columbus, all right? It says, he states that whilst at Amaracapana, Captain Callis arrived with upwards of 4,000 slaves, 4,000 slaves, and had captured many more. When some of them could not walk, the Spaniards, to prevent their remaining behind to make war, killed them by burying their swords in their sides of their breast. So when they couldn't survive these slaves they had, they would just kill them so they wouldn't, make delays or stay behind or anything like that. All right. It was really a most distressing thing to see the way in which these wretched creatures, naked, tired, and lame, were treated, exhausted with hunger, sick and despairing. The unfortunate mothers, with 2 and 3 children on their shoulders or clinging round their necks, overwhelmed with tears and grief, all tied with cords or with iron chains around their necks, or their arms or their hands. Nor was there a girl but had been violated by the depredators. Oh man, they were even violating girls. At page 159, Benzoni observes that Spaniards have eulogized themselves too much when they tell us that they are worthy of great praise for having converted to Christianity the tribes and nations that they subjugated. All right, so we're talking about these tribes and nations, all right? For there is great difference between the name and the being one in reality. All right, so even though they were bolstering themselves, talking about we were evangelizing them and making them civilized and Christian. All right, they were covering the, the cruelties, atrocities that they were committing. All right, with that, it says the slaves. All right, this is quotes. Somebody's saying this. All right, it says the slaves are all marked in the face and on the arms by a hot iron with the mark of C. Then the governors and captains do as they like with them. Some are given to the soldiers, so that the Spaniards afterwards sell them or gamble them away amongst each other. When ships arrive from Spain, they barter these Indians for wine. Who? Who? The Indians. All right. So let's go back. Let's go back. All right. I want you to understand what's going on here. All right. Because it says that Benzoni, right? Remember, he arrived at where? At Amaracapana. There was already a place called Amaracapana in South America. All right. He arrived with what? With 4,000 slaves, it says, right? Now we go back. Who were these slaves? These were Indians, right? So when ships would arrive there, what they would do from Spain, they would barter these Indians for wine, flour, biscuit, and other requisite things. And even when some of the Indian women are pregnant by the same Spaniards, they sell them without any conscience. Then the merchants carry them elsewhere. They carry them elsewhere. They take them to the other side, reverse, and sell them again, and sell them again. Others are sent to the island of Hispaniola. All right, so once they leave their mainland, their indigenous land, and they travel to these other places, right? These servants and slaves that they capture, these indigenous people, they put in captivity, prisoners of war. They would call them Negroes from there. You understand? Filling with them some large vessels built like caravels. All right, filling the vessels, right? Filling with what? With Indians, not Africans, Indians, and supplying what? Hispaniola. Because why? They had already decimated most of the population of Hispaniola through the same kind of slavery, sending them elsewhere with their diseases. A lot of suicides, a lot of cruelties was going on, so the population would decrease fast. They were, I mean, we're not saying you went extinct, of course not, but they had to replenish the slave population. All right, and they did it with the other indigenous people. All right, so it says they carried them under the deck, and being nearly all people captured inland, they suffered severely the sea horrors. And not being allowed to move out of those sinks, what with their sickness and their other ones, they have to stand in the field like animals. And the sea often being calm, water and other provisions failed them, so that the poor wretches, oppressed by the heat, the stench, the thirst, and the crowding, miserably expired there below. All right, we're talking about American Indians that are experiencing this cruelty. All right, we're talking about Deuteronomy 28. And, this is untold truth of ancient America. All right, we're in part 5. And, but you see how this correlates with what we're learning in the other series, right? Who was getting enslaved by the Spanish? The Indians, right? It's another account right here, letting you know straight up. Look what they went through in these ships. All right. Now, all that country around the Gulf of Paria and other places are no longer inhabited by Spaniards. Finally, out of the 2 million of original inhabitants of Hispaniola, through the number of suicides and other deaths occasioned by the oppressive labor and cruelties imposed by the Spaniards, there are not 150 now to be found. And this has been their way of making Christians out of them. What befell these poor islanders has happened also to all the others around. Cuba, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, and other places. And although an almost infinite number of the inhabitants of the mainland have been brought to these islands as slaves, they have nearly all since died. And it says the initial letter of the Emperor Charles V. All right. So who was saying this? Who was describing this? Charles V. And what were they putting on their face and in their arms? With a hard iron, a mark of C for Charles V. C for Charles V. All right. Charles V. Do you understand what he looked like? He was another brother, copper colored, so-called Negro. This is just another more on more war. All right.
In short, there seems to be very little room to doubt that the world has been misled through the complimentary notice of the Florentine bishop who claimed the New World was named after Vespucci. What many American historians fail to mention or realize is that Native Americans have always had their own name for the New World. Historian Alec Locker elucidates. Children in America are taught that America came from Amerigo Vespucci, the Florentine mariner. Actually, the best evidence dating back to the earliest Spanish documents following Christopher Columbus shows that part of South America, from Venezuela to Peru, was called Amaraca by the Indians of that region. At least that is what the Spaniards understood. Various spellings of Amaraca occur in Spanish documents, beginning with the visit to that land by Alonso de Ojeda, with whom Vespucci sailed in 1499.
All right, so we're in the book right now called Personal Narrative of Travels to the Equinoctial Regions of America. All right, during the years 1799 and 1804. It says by Alexander von Humboldt and Aimé Bonpland. All right, if you don't know, well, if you have been following me, you know who Alexander von Humboldt is, a very renowned primary source, a very basically admired so-called scholar, right, from those times, right there that you see those years. And he was actually invited to many historical societies. All right, we're on page 176 of this book, and it says here, Humboldt says, it is distressing to think that even at this day, there exist European colonists in the West Indies, who mark their slaves with a hot iron to know them again if they escape. All right, weren't we just reading about this? All right, Charles V marking his slaves with the Indians, right? The Indians with a hot iron. So who are we talking about still here? The 1700s. All right, this is the treatment bestowed on those who save other men, the labor of sowing, tilling, and reaping. All right, so let's see this little cross here. Let's go to that little footnote at the bottom real quick. All right, it says, see the little cross? All right, it says La Bruyère Caractères. All right, chapters 11, something, I guess is from a book, page 300. It says, I will here cite a passage strongly characteristic of Le Bruyère's benevolent feeling for his fellow creatures. It says, so he's quoting this guy, La Bruyère, from 1765. It says, we find under the torrid zone certain wild animals, male and female, scattered through the country, black, livid, and all over scorched by the sun, bent to the earth, which they dig and turn up with invisible perseverance. They have something like an articulate utterance, and when they stand up on their feet, they exhibit a human face. And in fact, these creatures are men. All right, so you hear what this racist French, I guess he's French dude, is how he's describing the indigenous aboriginals of South America, of West Indies. Remember, he's talking about how they mark, put hot irons on these people. And he's explaining why, and he's showing you why this dude is a racist. He doesn't care. He sees them like animals. He's giving you an example of what he said, and I hope you saw what he said about how they look. All right, he said they're what? Black, livid, and all over scorched by the sun. He's talking about American Indians, so-called Negro, right? We're not talking about Africans in anywhere here. All right, so let's go back up real quick. All right, and continue where we were. Now it says, in 1800, the number of slaves did not exceed 6,000 in the two provinces of Cumana and Barcelona. We're talking about Indians. When at the same period, the whole population was estimated at 110,000 inhabitants. The trade in African slaves, which the laws of the Spanish have never favored, is almost as nothing. All right, listen to this. As nothing on these coasts where the trade in American slaves was carried on in the 16th century with desolating activity. All right, let me put that in a different word. He's telling you the trade in African slaves, right, which the laws of the Spaniards have never favored. They didn't really care to or really like to go grab Africans, really. It doesn't compare, it says. It's almost as nothing as what happened on these coasts on as nothing on these coasts where the trade in American slaves, we are talking about indigenous people, was carried on in the 16th century, what, 1500s, way before the so-called slave trade, right? Which desolating activity. Continue says Macarapan, anciently called Amaracapana. What? Macarapan, which was anciently called Amaracapana. It wasn't named by the Europeans or Spaniards. All right, this place, which we know as Macarapan, was anciently called Amaraca, Amaraca, Amaracan, Amaraca, America, Amaracapana. You understand? Amaracapana. Again, Macarapan, anciently called Amaracapana. Cumana, Araya, and particularly New Cadiz. All right, so Macarapan, which was also known as Amaracapana or Cumana. If you see all these in the maps, Araya, these are the same place. All right, or New Cadiz. It says built on the inlet of Cubagua, might then be considered as commercial establishments for facilitating the slave trade. What slave trade? The Indian slave trade. Girolamo Benzoni of Milan, who at the age of 22 visited Terra Firme, or South America, right, took part in some expeditions in 1542 to the coast of Bordones, Cariaco, and Paraya to carry off the unfortunate natives. All right, natives. All right, so now we're coming into this book presented, it says here, to the University of Toronto Library, all right, by the Ontario Legislative Library. And the book is called Discovery of the Origin of the Name of America by Thomas de St. Brice, entered according to the Act of Congress in the year of 1888 by Thomas St. Brice in the office of the Librarian of Congress at Washington. Right of translation reserved, all right? And we're in the introduction, and it says, the object of this abridged popular edition is to present in a brief, clear, and simple style our discovery of the origin of the name of America, which came as unexpectedly as that of Columbus, while we were collecting from the old works of the Spanish historians. So while they were doing research in the real Spanish records, they were able to determine what was the origin of the name of America, right? The customs and histories of the Americans called Indians, all right? We're just talking about the copper-colored races, Americans, right? Remember? Copper-colored tribes of America, Aborigines, which they called Indians by mistake, in order to show their connection with Egypt. Whoa. So the Aboriginals of America and their connection with Egypt, all right? Where's the true ancient Egypt, all right? We're going to see the real name of ancient Egypt, what that name was. Tamir, all right, of which a preliminary sketch was published in 1882, the connection, all right? We have attached a map to be kept in view while reading so that a perfect idea may be obtained of the places named by Columbus and of the geography of the age when America was discovered. Asia is placed in the position given to it by the first standard map of the world on which the Western Hemisphere appeared, and the Atlantic Ocean, representing the early discoveries and settlements on this continent, is taken from the first atlas, where the name of America is applied to its southern division, to which we have added the information obtained from a local chart showing the coast of Amaraca, the coast of Amaraca, America, Amaraca, and the kingdom of Kunding, Amaraca, the kingdom of Kunding, Amaraca. You hear all this? All right. University of, all right. The coast of Amaraca. All right. It was already here, this name, Amaraca. While the cities on the Pacific coast represent the extent of the kingdom of Amaraca, America, Amaraca, at the period of its conquest by Spain. Instead of referring to the numerous Spanish authors which we have consulted in order to show the importance of this empire, so they went through the research and they're not just referencing one person. They're telling you straight up right now, right, that they went through numerous Spanish authors which have consulted in order to show the importance of this empire, the kingdom of Amaraca, All right, the kingdom of the Amara, Amaru, Amaracans, Amarucans, the kingdom of the Amarucans. All right, which only bears indirectly on our subject. We have referred our readers to a most interesting work where these scattered histories may be found collected. We speak of the well-known Prescott's History of the Conquest of Peru, a great nation. We got that book too, of which our notes only give a passing outline. We use the word king in its general sense instead of the native name of Inca, which has similar meaning, referring to exclude foreign words, which tend to mystify history when an idea can be conveyed in our own. The kings of Amaraca or America, the kings of Amaraca or America, like the kings of England, Japan, the Mikado, Turkey, the Sultan, and Persia, the Shah, were the temporal and spiritual chiefs of their dominions. Nearly all the works we have examined are to be found at the Astor Library, which, with a valuable number of the American Geographical Society's maps and atlases, have been the principal means of throwing light on this subject of national interest. All right, you hearing this scholarly work? They're getting maps from the American Geographical Society. All right, they would correlate all what they're saying about these kings of Amaraca or America, Amaraca, where Vespucci and Columbus landed. And that's why they went back with these stories of Amaraca or the kings and kingdoms of Amaraca, Amaracans, the Amarucans. All right. All right, so the book continues saying, is the following are the principal authorities which have been consulted in this work. All right, so it gives all the references they're using for this article or book they wrote. So it's Adam and Tudis, all right, Six Languages Americanas, American Encyclopedia, all right, and so on and so on. All right, you can slow this down and, take a look at all the sources and verify for yourself, all right, because there's so many. I'm not going to name them all. Look at this. Garcilaso de la Vega, Commentaries on La Ferreira del Inca. We got that book. All right, so a lot of these books I actually already have. Herrera, I have that in Spanish. All right, Humboldt's History of the Peru. All right, we got all these. All right, so check it out. Look at all these sources. All right, so you want to call it pseudo, you want to say this is things I'm making up. All right, but there's a bigger truth that you can't handle. All right, so now we're in this book. It's called Watson's Jeffersonian Magazine. All right, from 1911. It says here, look, 10 cents per copy, $1 per year if you just want to subscribe. It says the only magazine that stands for original democratic principles. Really? Again, Watson's Magazine. This is volume 13, number 5. All right. All right, so we're on page 406 of this magazine. And it says The Name of America by Alexander Del Mar. I look him up. All right, these are not just anybody writing these things. All right, so it says that the American continent derived its name from the Florentine merchant and geographer Amerigo Vespucci, and that thereby an injustice was done to Columbus is an impression which still retains a firm hold on the popular mind. Yet many proofs have been offered that before Columbus landed, listen to this. All right, many proofs exist, my people, right? That before Columbus landed, right, the name America was found scattered over the southern continent, from the Caribbean Sea to the Pacific Ocean, and from the Maracaibo Gulf and Amaracapana Coast. The Amaraca, American, the Amaracapana Coast, Amaru Coast near the Orinoco's outlet to the mountainous regions of Cox Amaraca around Bogota or Colombia, and over the heights of the Andes as far to the south as Peru. All right, so they use that word also in Peru, right? We know that Amaru, right? Amaru. Ex-President Harrison added his influence to the popular impression with the remark that the continent should have been named for Columbus, thereby implying that it was in fact named for Vespucci. The only evidence to sustain this assumption is the letter of a Florentine bishop in which he writes rather boastfully And well may our new world be named America, since its discovery was due to our eminent countryman Amerigo Vespucci, etc. On the other hand, it proves that the country bore a title much nearer to America than Amerigo may be summarized in the following citations. Giro Lemo Benzoni, a Milanese, in his Historia del Mondo Novo, published at Venice in 1565, says in page 7 of the translation, the governor shortly after left Cumana. Right, remember Cumana is just another name for Amaracapana, right? With all his company and coasting westward, went to Amaracapana. He went to where? Amaracapana. This was a town of about 40 houses, and 400 Spaniards resided there constantly, who annually elected a captain. All right. All right. So before we proceed, I just want to go verify this. All right. So let's go to the actual book written by Girolamo Benzoni. All right. So again, it's La Historia del Mundo Nuevo, or the History of the New World by Girolamo Benzoni. All right. And you saw the date, 1565. All right. Let's go to the page. All right. So we're in page 6 of this book. All right. Just want to show you. All right. Right here. Let me just zoom in. All right, zoomed into page 6, we see the word right here, Amaracapana. All right, if you know Italian, you can verify this right now. Take a screenshot, pause it. All right, let's go back. All right, so we verified the source. All right, Humboldt and his Relations Historiques, a narrative of personal observations, chiefly in South America from 1799 to 1804. We just got that, right? We went to the source. That was the first book we read, volume 1, page 324, that the first settlement of the Spaniards on the mainland was Amaracapana. The coast between the Capes Paria and de la Vela appear under the names of Amaraca, Pana, and Maracapana in Codacio's map, all right? And Codacio's map of Venezuela, showing the voyages of Columbus and others. All right, it says Herrera in his History of the West Indies narrates the voyage of Ojeda, 1499, whom Amerigo Vespucci accompanied as a merchant, and says finally he arrived at a port where they saw a village on the shore called Maracaibo by the natives, which had 26 large houses of bell shape, built on pillars or supports with swinging bridges leading from one to another. And as this looked like Venice in appearance, he gave it that name. So that's what they say to get the name Venezuela from the word Venice, which was subsequently adopted by the Republic of Venezuela. This simple sentence is conclusive proof that at the time Vespucci made his first landing in the Western continent, the port he stopped at was called Amaracaibo, Amaraca, Amaracaibo, or America Land. All right, Amaracaibo or America Land. It was called America Land. When Vespucci landed, it wasn't named after him. It was already called that. All right. Continuing, says Sir Walter Raleigh reached the same region in 1595. We know Walter Raleigh, right? One of the famous slavers. All right. And wrote of it as the beautiful valley of America Pana. All right. So when he arrived in this region, South America, Walter Raleigh called it the beautiful valley of America, America Pana, America. Sir Walter, also writing in 1596, describes one of the younger brothers of Atahualpa, the Inca of Peru, whom the Spaniards under Pizarro had slain, as taken thousands of the soldiers and nobles of Peru, and with these vanquishing all that tract and valley of America situated between the rivers Orinoco and Amazon. Besides this, the name given to the whole country between the coast of Amaraca, which stretched from the Orinoco River to Maracaibo, so add the A, Amaracaibo Bay, and thence to the whole country between Maracaibo Bay and the Pacific was called Amarca. All right, so again, it says that the whole country, which stretched from the Orinoco River to Maracaibo Bay and thence to the whole country between Maracaibo Bay and the Pacific, was called Amarca. Amarca, that whole land was called Amarca. While the whole country, now known as Bogota and stretching down to Peru, was called Cax Amarca. Cax Amarca. All right, you hear this? Along the heights of the Andes in this region, the name again appears in the capital city, which was also called Cox Amaraca, Cox Amaraca, in one of its nearby towns called Hult Amarca, and in the three other local names strewn to the southward along the Andes of and Amarca and Catamarca. Down near the mouth of the river Cumana was Amaraca Pana, Amaraca Pana, previously mentioned while out in the Caribbean Sea off the coast of Amaraca Pana was the large island of Tamarik. Look at this word. We're going to get into this word later on. Tamarik, all right? The island of Tamara. Tamarik, Tamarakan, Tamari. We're going to see what Tamara was. A Spanish mode of spelling the same word. Also, a name given to one of the gods, or one of the names given to the great spirit of the natives, Tamara. Wow. To these citations may be added the probability that had there been any intention to name the continent after Vespucci, his surname would have been used. All right. So he's saying if they supposedly named the continent after Vespucci, they would have used his last name, which was Vespucci. So they would have called this what? Vespuccia land, whatever, but not his first name as what would be the norm, right? His surname would have been used so that the result would have been something like Vespugia. Instead, to be very to doubt that the world has been misled through the complimentary notice of the Florentine bishop. All right, the world has been misled. You've been misled. This is your indigenous word. All right, this is your indigenous vibration word. Amaraca, Amaru. All right, Amaru. There seems to be a law for the evolution of continental names from names of a divinity or of a small localities which throughout use by the persons first coming into contact with the continent at that point spread gradually over the whole. Thus Europa originally designated a small village in Thessaly, but as it lay to the west of the Bosphorus and the Hellespont, it must have been spoken of by Asiatic neighbors in a manner to facilitate its more extended application. Asia indicated originally a very small part of what is now Asia Minor, but near the dividing line. Africa meant originally only that small part of the continent lying around Carthage, and with which the Romans came in contact. It was much less extended than Libya. Egypt was the name by which the Greeks knew a small seaport town near the mouth of the Nile, and bears no resemblance to the name the Black Country, by which the ancient Egyptians designated their own land. All right, we're gonna get into this. Trust me, we're gonna get into the real ancient name of Egypt, because right here they just dropped some jewels on us right here, right now. All right, so this word, this Greek word for Egypt, you know, does not mean the Black Country or Kemet, right? Rich soil, black soil. It does not mean that. It's telling you right now. All right, it was a small port town off the Nile. So they're telling you that just like this small town that the Spaniards were encountering in South America named Amaraca, the whole continent became America. Just like Europe, they told you was a small town as well, and it became the whole continent. And Asia was a small part, which became the whole continent. Just like Africa is telling you right here, all right, was only a small part of the continent lying around Carthage. All right, it wasn't the whole continent. It didn't even exist. All right. The name China spread from a pretty mountain region on the borders of India because it was there that Europeans first came into any considerable contact with the empire. And it was by European nations that the name came to be obtruded on a nation which knew itself only as the Middle Kingdom. This shows that it is by the spread of local names indigenous to a small region that large regions are named. All right, so there again, discovery of the origin of the name of America. What led to the discovery of America? And it starts talking about, Mateo Polo, which is, I believe, Marco Polo's dad, and his story and how they went looking for the Grand Khan. And basically, they're letting you know it's kind of like he basically came over here. Marco Polo was over here. But let's get to the part where we're talking about the name. All right, so let's take a look at this map real quick. It's very interesting. All right, so you got La Florida right here, right? Cuba, Haiti, Dominican Republic, all right, Jamaica. You got, check it out. So then you got Chipango. All right, this is one of the mythical Chipango that Marco Polo went to. Chipango, Catay. Look at Catay. All right, and then you got Amaraca right here. Amaraca over Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica. We got Central America right here. Yucatan, Veragua, which is part of Panama and Costa Rica. And then we got South America over here. Look at this. And it says Amarca or Cax Amaraca. Cax Amaraca. Andamarca. Look at that. And Amaraca. Catamarca. You see this? All right, look at this map. Golden Castle Mountains. Cartagena, Santa Margarita. Tamaracua. Look at this. Tamaracua. 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 Hawa. Tamaracua. Caxamaraca and Cusco, Titicaca. Look at that. All right, and we're on page 35 of this book. It says the illustrious national sacred name of the greater portion of the southern continent, including that part first discovered by Columbus, was America, which appeared on early maps as an appropriate honor to the great navigator who had made the discovery. This was, however, only an additional acknowledgement of gratitude, which the world owed to him. They had previously made him admiral and viceroy of the West Indies, named the Columbian Archipelago, and the Columbian Sea. He was authorized to use the royal arms of Spain on armorials granted to him, the islands first discovered being represented on it, one of which was called Montserrato, after his birthplace. On the earliest standard maps showing the Western Hemisphere, the Spanish colonists adopted the native name of America. Again, you saw all the sources, right? In the beginning? Again, the Spanish colonists adopted the native name of America. They were here before all these Italian navigators, Vespucci especially, all right? They already had this name here when they arrived. As soon as Columbus, right? Columbus is supposed to be the first one, right? As soon as Columbus got here, this place was already called Amaraca. Amaraca, remember? All right, so again, the Spanish colonists adopted the native name of America to designate their first settlement on the mainland, of the New World. But in those days, the rules of orthography were undefined, and in addition to the numerous errors of printing, names were spelled in any way which the writer considered most appropriate. And hence we have America. All right, so that's how they're saying it transformed to what we know now today as America or America. Not only written Amaraca. All right, so depending on who's writing it, where that person his language, where he knows how to translate certain words. It could be Italian, French, whatever, Arab, whatever. But whoever is saying it has a different way of how they said it, right? So that's what they're trying to show. So again, it has written Amaraca, Amerioco, and Amerioca, America. Look at that, Amerioca, Maraca, Moraca, and America. But they added the native word pana, which Sir Walter Raleigh explains meant an equivalent of country. And in Codice's map, the name applying to the seashore is coast of Maraca, Pana. All right, so Pana, again, at the end, just meant country or land. So when they were saying Amaraca, Pana, It was the land of Amaraca, the land of America, the country of Amaraca. So is there a record of a Spanish settlement named Amaruca? All right, I was able to find at least one source basically recording this. I'm in this book called The Geographical and Historical Dictionary of America and the West Indies, containing the entire translation of the Spanish work of Colonel Don Antonio de Alcedo, all right, volume 1, 1812. All right, we're going to go, and we go to page 39 of this book, and right here it says Amaruca, 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 right, the land of the Plumed Serpent, Amaruca, a settlement of the province of Guyana and government of Cumana. So they took the indigenous name and they just settled it and just left it as it was called already, Amaru Ka, the land of Amaru Kapana, right? Amaru Ka, a settlement of the province of Guyana and government of Cumana, one of those belonging to the missions held there by the Catalanians, Capuchin fathers. It lies south of the city of Santo Tomas. All right, Amaruca was a real place. All right, a real Spanish settlement. All right. All right, we're reading from this book. It's called A Collection of Voyages and Travels, consisting of authentic writers in our own tongue, which have not before been collected in English or have only been abridged in other collections. All right, it's a long explanation here. It says, compiled from the curious and valuable library of the late Earl of Oxford. All right, so quickly, we're in page 752 of this book, and we're just going to belly flop to this part of the book real quick. It says, on the sixth day, now they're talking about the account of Walter Raleigh, right, when he got to this part of the world, Venezuela, Guyana, all right, and it says on the sixth day, they came and stayed at the port of Morequito, that was an Inca chief, where he was kindly entertained and informed concerning the state of those parts from Topi or Wari, Lord of Aromaya. Look at the word Aromaya. Maya with a Y or I is Maya. And uncle to the aforesaid Morequito. All right. The information he received from him was that all the regions thereabout, even to Ameria, look at this, Ameria, Samaria, Ameria, Ameria. Come on, look at how close that is. Samaria were called Guyana, though yet the inhabitants were called Oronoki Poni. Whoa, Poni? It's a pony? Oronoki Poni. As far as the mountains of Wakarima, which they might from thence behold afar off in the continent, beyond which he told them the large valley of Amario Kapana, Amario, Amarica, Amarioka, Amarioka, Amario Kapana did lie. The large valley of Mario Capana. All right, so this is what he was saying about Walter Raleigh calling the beautiful valley of Mario Capana, whose inhabitants were called the Guianians, and that into the provinces which lie beyond these more to the south, there came some years since multitudes of people called Oriones and Epuremei, who possessed themselves thereof, having driven the natives out of their ancient inheritances. The Baron de Humboldt spent several years in this part of America, 1799 to 1804. We got that right already. Humboldt, Alexander the Humboldt, and wrote 3 volumes containing nearly 7,000 pages of modern size. The object of his visit was to study the nation, and we need hardly refer to his rare erudition to be found in this beautiful work, which treats of nearly every subject. From him we learned that the first settlement of the Spaniards on the mainland was Amaraca, Pana. Again, Humboldt, they're reminding us what Humboldt, a very renowned primary source, a scholar, invited to all the historical societies in a lot of countries in Europe and America, right? He's telling us that the first settlement of the Spaniards on the mainland was Amaraca, Pana, or the country of Amaraca, the land of America, Amaraca, which with Cumana and Cubagua, both adjoining it, were the chief places of the African slave trade, so frightfully active there in the 16th century until stopped by the Emperor Charles V. All right, so dodge the hijack with the African slave trade. All right, the immense quantity of pearls first attracted the attention of Columbus and the Spanish pioneers who followed him. all of whom spoke of it as the Pearl Coast. I remember that the supposed first slaves that were, or Africans that were taken, or a so-called Negro that was put into slavery in an American colony in, I believe, Bermuda or Barbados, um, was pearl divers, right? They went to get from this region of Amaraca, right? This is the Pearl Coast. Remember, these were Indians, all right, which was which was on the low shore between the Capes Paria and the La Vela, appearing under the names of coast of Maracapana, or properly Amaraca Pana, Amaraca, Amaracapana, America, the land, Pana, Panama, the land of Amaraca, and Pearl Coast and the Pearl Coast, both covering equally the entire shore in Codazzi's map of Venezuela, showing the voyages of the admiral and others. The name Maracapan was written on the early Spanish maps in red, which indicated the places first discovered by Columbus. All right, this is where Columbus landed, in Amaraca, the land of Amaraca, Amaraca. All right. All right, now we're in this book. It's called Ancient Explorers of America, from the Ice Age to Columbus. All right, this is the cover of the book, and it's written by Alec Locker. All right, and it says here, another possible origin of the name America. Children in America are taught that America came from Amerigo Vespucci, the Florentine mariner. Actually, the best evidence dating back to the earliest Spanish documents following Christopher Columbus shows that part of South America, from Venezuela to Peru, all right, from Venezuela to Peru, was called Amaraca. All right, that region already was called Amaraca. This was an indigenous word, right? America, Amaraca. America, Amaraca. Amaraca. By the Indians of the region. Again, it was called Amaraca by the Indians of that region. All right, Guyana. All right, we know who was there originally, indigenously. At least that's what the Spaniards understood. Various spellings of Amaraca occur in Spanish documents, beginning with the visit to that land by Alonso de Ojeda. All right, we got accounts of him, with whom Vespucci sailed in 1499. Ojeda reported that he received friendly treatment at the hands of the Indians of Maracapana. Maracapana was also written as Amaraca Pana. All right, so whenever you see Maracapana, all right, like in this map right here, you'll see it right here, Maracapana. It was also written as Amaraca, Amaraca, America, Amaracapana. So Vespucci, Columbus, all these people landed in this region called Amaraca, and they had so much gold and pearls and everything that were coming out of there. They were going back to Spain with all these stories and all this, you know, how there's so many fruits, gold everywhere, there's pearls. All right, El Dorado, you know, the legendary city of El Dorado. There was legends around there. They found an Inca emperor, a brother of Atahualpa. I had fled there with other soldiers and was living there in Manoa. All right, in this region called Amaraca, America, Amaracapana, the place where Columbus landed. All right, during his voyage past Trinidad and the Orinoco River. All right, when Columbus got to the Orinoco, you know, he was like, oh, this is the Gishon. This is coming from the earthly paradise. He thought he was at the Gishon, one of the four rivers of Eden. All right, we already got that in past videos, right? Apparently, the Indians called the general area Amaraca, and Pana meant country, all right, or region. So the region of America, that's what they were calling it. Pana, Panama, Panama. Panama is close by, very close by to Colombia and Venezuela, Panama. Amaraca, the region called Amaraca. So they landed in Amaraca. You understand? They landed in Amaraca. Later visitors to the western regions of South America found that the Incas called their region Amaru, Amaru, and various subdivisions of Amaruca or Amarucan, priest king, were identified by prefixes such as Kunding Amaraca, or and Amaraca. You're going to see that a lot, this Kunding Amaraca with the Incas. Subsequent spellings included the variant America, It seems plausible that Waldes Semüller labeled that area of the New World America, not in honor of Amerigo Vespucci. And so they're talking about this famous map in 1507 that has the word America right on South America. It's a little piece of South America too. They don't even know what it, well, according to that map, they didn't know what it looked like, the whole South America. All right. But they have the word America in it, and it says that, they're saying right here, because we know that this region was called Amaraca, the region of Amaraca. All right. It seems plausible that Walden Semüller labeled that area of the New World America, not in honor of Amerigo Vespucci, but following the Spanish name derived from what the Indians called that part of the world, America, Amaraca. Thus, like so many place names in America, the continental name also derives from an Indian word. All right. So, like so many places in America, the continent, the name the continent was given derived from this word, Amaraca, an Indian word, not the name of Vespucci. All right. All right. So we continue in the book, Discovery of the Origin of the Name of America by Thomas de Saint Brice. We're in page 43, and it says there was an abundance of fruit, flowers, and beautiful birds in this charming place. All right, so remember where they're landing, right? They're landing in the land of Amaraca, the land or Amaraca or Amaraca Pana, right? And this is the journey that Ojeda, the Spaniard, took with his Italian merchant, which was Vespucci, Alberigo Vespucci, not Almerigo. We're gonna see that. All right. So this is basically the route that Columbus took as well. This is the part that Columbus landed into. He landed in Amaraca, the land of Amaraca. All right. This is in South America, and you can see this is paradise. Remember, Columbus said that when he reached the Orinoco, he said it had to have been coming from the earthly paradise, one of the four rivers. All right. Now it says again, there was an abundance of fruit, flowers, and beautiful birds in this charming place. But they were determined to find some gulf where fresh water was to be had, and left Paria for the isle of Margarita, where Ojeda landed and coasted from place to place. This shore had already been discovered by the admiral, all right, that's Columbus, who knew the ground and mountain ridges well. In fact, all of this discovery was due to him, as it was from the beginning declared to the king, and yet Ojeda went all along this coast, trading for gold and pearls. Gold and pearls, the Gold Coast, Pearl Coast. From Margarita, he went to Cumana. Remember that in Maracapana, these two names, the ancient name of these two places was Amaraca, which is 270 miles from the island, with towns all along the seacoast. After leaving Cumana, they entered a large gulf, which was surrounded by a thickly populated country. But a river flowed into it, bringing an infinite number of what the Spaniards call lizards, and the Indians caimanes, but which are really the crocodiles of the Nile. These are really the crocodiles of the real Nile, according to the most reliable information. And this being unfavorable for the ships, they anchored in Maracapana or Amaraca, and were well received and served as if they were angels by the great number of people of this district. We discharged the ship's cargoes and repaired them. Aided by the inhabitants, we remained here 36 days. And all this time, the Indians treated us to their bread, venison, fish, and the food was so good. The food was so good that these Indians had, that ever after when we could not get it, we wished to return home. Wow. All right, so always, the ancestors were helping these Europeans. We were being humble, we were being kind, showing them love, and you know what they did. All right. It continues a little bit ahead. It says, we find from the foregoing history that after searching the entire coast, talking about the coast of South America, the only place where they found a safe harbor, fresh water, good food, and hospitality was Amaraca. So the land of Amaraca. You understand what's going on, right? The land, this beautiful land of Amaraca, right? Where there was gold, pearls, hospitable natives, indigenous people that were treating them kindly. There was fresh water, great food, good tasting food, great food, right? This is paradise. Amaraca, America, Amaraca. which probably accounts for its having been the first settlement on the mainland according to Baron de Humboldt. The excitement continued unabated in Spain, where several expeditions were spoken of. The gold and pearls sent by Columbus, which he had collected on the coast of Amaraca. All right, so Columbus brought back some gold and pearls. He was showing it off over there in Europe and Spain. They were like, "Wow, where'd you get that?" He was like, "I got that in Amaraca." What do you mean Amaraca? Yeah, I got that in Amaraca, America, Amaraca. You understand? This name was already here, a land he landed in Columbus. This was a native word. All right, the people already were calling this Amaraca. All right, had caused the greatest curiosity, and John Rodriguez de Fonseca, who had been appointed by the crown receiver of applications for passports and given the map of the coast, which was sent by the admiral to the government, was besieged by navigators who wished to see the chart of the country where these treasures had been collected. All right, so it became a legend, this land of America, Amaraca. All right, continuing says Nina and Guerra sailed for America a month after Ojeda, navigating as he did with a copy of the admiral's map, and arrived on the coast of Amaraca, Pana, or the country or the land of Amaraca, a few days after he had sailed. On Ojeda's return to Spain, he reported the arrival of English vessels and got permission, 1501, to colonize and govern at his own expense the island of Coquipacoa. The place, however, as shown on our map, was a small isthmus and not an isle. He induced Juan de Vergara and Garcia de Ocampo to join him and provide the money. They sailed in 1502 and reaching the Gulf of Paria, traded along the coast of Amaraca, Pana, all right, until coming to some cultivated land in a beautiful valley, which was so named by Ojeda and also spoken of as famed by Columbus. All right, these people were just falling in love with this place. It became a legend, it became a paradise to them, El Dorado. All right, it is today in the province of Barcelona, formerly the port of Amaracapana. All right, so it's not in Spain they're talking about there's a port today called Barcelona, I guess in this region or in Venezuela or wherever they are right here in Guyana. All right, but it was Amaracapana, the port of Amaracapana, the land of America, for which the pioneers sailed, and is no doubt the place referred to by Sir Walter Raleigh as the beautiful valley of America, Pana, America. Remove the O, what you get? America, the beautiful valley of America, seizing whatever they wanted here, while Vergara sailed to Jamaica for provisions. Continuing in the book, Discovery of the Origin of the Name of America. All right, so this part of the book is talking about who they met and encountered, Ojeda and these Vespucci and Walter Raleigh. And they encountered an emperor, they call him, or a chief, right, a cacique. And this is what they say about him. It says, but because there arise many doubts in how this empire is become so populous and adorned with so many great cities, towns, temples, and treasures, I thought good to make it known that the emperor now reigning is descended from these magnificent princes of Peru. All right, talking about he's an Inca, of whose large territories, of whose policies, conquests, edifices, and riches, many have written large discourses. For when the Spaniards conquered the said empire of Peru, and had put to death Atahualpa, I believe the saying, which had formerly caused his elder brother, Huascar, to be slain, one of his younger brothers fled out of Peru. So they're saying that this emperor that was here in Venezuela, right in Amaraca, with all this greatness and treasures and great cities, all right, it was an Inca emperor that had come, the brother of Atahualpa, all right, who had fled out of Peru and took with him many thousands of those soldiers of the empire called Orellones, or noblemen, Orion, noblemen, that's what it means, noblemen. And with these and many others which followed him, he vanquished all that tract and valley of America, and it says, see the footnote 3, situated between the rivers Orinoco and Amazon. All right, so over here it says number 1, the footnote, and it says Atahualpa, right? You see that? Atahualpa. All right, so number 3, the footnote, let me just read that real quick. It says, in Sir Robert Schomburgk's map, Attached to Raleigh's work, the valley of Ameriocapana. Ameriocapana is between the rivers referred to. All right. So it's not that he said the Valley of America. It wasn't spelled that way. It was spelled Ameriocapa. But the name America was given to the mainland from Amaraca. All right. You hear this? But the name America was given to the mainland from Amaraca or America, the first Spanish settlement, whose people treated them as if they were angels, while others attacked them. Many authors, unaware that America was the national name of the southern continent, could not understand the Spanish pioneers who gave this name to several places on the coast, and cartographers hotly disputed the question as to which was correct, without finding that they all were. The coast which Navarrete says Columbus first visited is the Valley of America of Raleigh. We're talking about the Amaraca, the Valley of Amaraca. All right. Purchase edition in 1614, page 836, which quotes Ladius, Stadius, and others, says that the Brazilians have a maraca or tamaraca. Tamaraca. You see this? Tamaraca. This is important. Tamarac. And you see in Nicaragua, we're going to read about the Amaric, Tamaraca, and Tamara. What is the name of ancient Egypt? You know? I'm going to show you, which is their household god. On the same page, he refers to Vespucci's voyage to Brazil. The map of 1508 places the isle of Tamaragua. Look at that. Tamaragua, Hawa. Thousands of miles away from Brazil, on the coast of Amaraca, Pana. Continuing in the footnote, it says, in the map of St. Dye, where the proposition emanated to call America after Vespucci, an isle is placed beside Tamaragua, named Isle of Brazil. We observe on modern maps the Isle of Maraca, near the mouth of the Amazon in Brazil. This is circumstantial evidence that St. Dye people, who got their information from Vespucci, had heard of the port of Amaraca, Pana, where Ojeda was so hospitably received when Vespucci was with him, and also of the Maraca or Amaraca. Listen to this. Also the Maraca or Amaraca of Brazil. Amaraca of Brazil. And so they placed the island of Amaraca in Brazil, on the coast of Amaracapana, and it was evidently this similarity of name with Amerigo, called Morigo by Ojeda, that led them to suppose that the name came from him. But we're going to see his real name is not even Amerigo, it's Alberigo. All right, we're going to see that, and that means Albert. The Ptolemy map of 1524 places the supposed isle of Brazil in the Atlantic Ocean, nearer to England than America, which name appears on the continent in the same latitude and longitude as Aymarca. You see that? That name, Aymarca, Amaraca, Aymarca. They knew about America. Aymarca, Amaraca, Amaru. All right, we're gonna see what this leads to. They're gonna know the priest kings, the khans. All right. So Ptolemy's map has Aymarca. The same evidence occurs in Ptolemy's in 1535. The name of the Brazilian god Tamaraca explains the proximity of the isles of Brazil and Tamaragua in the same Dye map of 1513. The prophets of the Brazilians were the Caribs, whose god was Hua Amaracan. Hua Amaracan. Hua Amaracan. Ahua. Hawa. Hawa. Hua. Ahua. Hawa. Amaracan. The Ptolemy map of 1540 states that the New World is called Brazil and America. And they also place it in the latitude and longitude of the native district of Amaraca. Then comes Mercator next year, who places the name of America over the entire continent. So eventually this name, right, this valley, this place, this region was so popular, Amaraca, it was being brought back by many explorers and Europeans, and eventually became the name of the entire continent. All right, America is Amaraca, the land of Amaraca. All right, continuing in the book, discover.
Is it possible to retire rich using just 3 stocks? Hi, my name is Jeff Clark, and for the past 36 years, I've helped folks from all walks of life retire wealthy. But I haven't
Discovery of the origin of the name of America. All right, this very scholarly book with all the sources it has. It says the Golden Castles Mountains, on the coast of Amaraca, the first Spanish settlement in the Western Hemisphere. The very first one was in Amaraca. All right, it says down here the territory of Ojeda was to the east of the Gulf, to be known as New Andalusia, after a Spanish province, while Nicuesa had the western side, which for the first time appeared under the name of Golden Castles on the coast of Amaraca. All right, this is found in the Codice map in the Humboldt's Relations Historiques, Volume 1. All right, in the fertile island of Jamaica. Again, on the coast of Amaraca or America. All right, and the fertile island of Jamaica was to be the joint granary, the fertile, very fertile island of Jamaica. It says here, Pizarro related everywhere the wonderful stories of the Golden Land. During this visit, all right, the Golden Land, the Gold Coast, Guyana, Guinea, come on. And they were repeated throughout the dominions of his sovereign, the King of Spain and Emperor of Germany, one of whose friends, the great German mercantile house of Welsers, got authority during the year that Pizarro had returned to found cities and to mine in the mountains called Golden Castles, the mountains called Golden Castles on the coast of Amaraca, Amaracapana, the land, the country of Amaraca. Their people landing in the Orinoco, as Sir Walter Raleigh had done, settled at Amaracapana, from which place the German Featherman led an expedition to Bogota in search of its treasures in 1534, while another marched across the Andes commanded by Quezada from Quito on the Pacific, and a third under the Spanish governor of Popoyan, all of whom accidentally met there. But they did not find the gold, though Quezada sent expedition after expedition for years in search of it. Fetterman returned to his district of which Sir Walter Raleigh speaks. Beyond us lay another town, towards the south, in the valley of Amerioca Pana, which bears the name of the said valley. That is the name of that valley, all right, America Pana, whose plains stretch themselves some 60 miles in length, east and west, as fair ground, and as beautiful fields as any man has ever seen, with diverse copses scattered here and there by the riverside, and all as full of deer as any forest or park in England, and every lake and river the like abundance of fish and fowl, of which Ira, Para, Gota is Lord. Alright, so this is a paradise, this valley of Amaraca, America, this valley. Alright. Pizarro arriving again crossed over to Panama and returned January 1531 to Tumbes, where they remained 5 months before marching to Amaraca, the capital of the empire. What are they talking about? They're talking about Cusco. Remember Cusco? Their empire was called also something like Cuxca Amaraca. We have here Amaraca, the capital of the empire. We know Pizarro was the one who invaded the Inca. On the way, they stopped at Caxas, where messengers from the king had arrived with an invitation to visit him, and a present of 2 stone mountains in the form of forts, some woolen stuff embroidered with gold and silver, and a quantity of perfume powder used by the native nobility. All right, so we know that Pizarro eventually, invaded and took prisoners and murdered many Incas, and took the whole empire and the capital of Cusco. So this is after, and it says that as the population on the Atlantic side of the Andes Mountain are also Quichua or Amaracan. Let us now recall some of the history of the great Chibcha kingdom of Kunding Amaraca, the neighbors of the nation just spoken of. It says here their kingdom of Kunding Amaraca and its capital of Bogota now forms part of the United States of Colombia in Central America, containing 100,000 square miles of territory, which may be found in longitude 74 and latitude 4 and 6 north. The kings of Amaraca on the Pacific coast had a road, which followed the course of the Andes Mountains, connecting their city with the capital of Cundin, Amaraca. Continuing the book, it says, we have an account of it from Dr. Don Luis Fernandez Piedrahita, canon of the Metropolitan Church of Bogota, calificador of the Holy Office of the Supreme and General Inquisition and Bishop-elect of Santa Marta. This work was dedicated in the year 1688 to His Majesty the King of Spain. And of the Indies, the bishop informs us that Cundin Amaraca, as the heathens called it, or the Indians, they called them heathens, right? Was the most important kingdom after Peru and Mexico, or apart from, the Incas and, the Mexica, Toltec, Olmec, Maya empires in Mexico. The chiefs of its population and the court of the barbarous king were at the capital, Bogota. So it seems the capital of Cundinamarca was in Bogota, right, in Colombia. To their idols of solid gold, they offered emeralds powdered with gold dust. The city had 20,000 houses in the days of its fame, and the king, with his 200 wives, resided in an immense palace guarded by 12 gates, which were entered by solid stone staircases. All right, so you think it was just teepees? All right, immense palace. All right, dumb diverses, right? They came to take your kingdoms, your dukedoms, your principalities, all right, your palaces. All right. The author explains the rites and ceremonies of the Muiscas under paganism and informs us that when anyone died from the bite of a snake, that the sign of the cross was placed on the tomb, which is the American Peruvian sign for the word Amaru. Boom. Oh, wow, right there, man. I mean, this correlates so much for me. All right. So they put the sign of the cross. Anybody who got bit by a snake, and it says that this sign, all right, is the Peruvian sign for the word Amaru. You hear it right here? You see the cross? Amaru. Amaru. And with the addition of the word Ka, or land, represents the sacred national name, America. All right? Amaru Ka. Amaru Ka, the land of the cross. Or who are they talking about Amaru when they're talking about Amaru?
It is clear then that America was never named after or even by any European at all, but is an adaptation from the natives' own term, Amaraca, or alternatively, Amaru Ka. The spelling and pronunciation of the term was simply modified for European tongues, but its meaning remains the same. The meaning of Amaru Ka can be deduced by examining the name of the last ruler in the bloodline of the Inca emperors, Tupac Amaru. Tupac Amaru led the final insurrection against the Spaniards in Peru from the last stronghold of the Incas in Vilcabamba, but was summarily defeated and beheaded. His name holds the key to understanding the true connotation of the word America. Steve Quayle explains. Tupac was an Incan royalty title which meant one who glows or one who shines. Amaru means serpent, Quetzalcoatl. Additionally, Amaru in the Incan language also has connotations of being a serpent connected to the subterranean or underworld.
All right, so real quick, we're in the website for Atlantis Rising magazine. So Atlantis Rising, I used to subscribe to this magazine way before there was internet. I used to get a lot of drop there, all these historic and conspiracies and mysteries, that they told us about. That was me. I was into all that way back. All right, so it says here, Amaruca to America, Amaruca. We just got that in the last book, right? What does it mean? The cross, right? In the 15 years that separated the discovery of the New World and the placing of the name America on the map, there were numerous ocean crossings that may have brought home the name America. All right. Numerous Spanish voyages reached the Caribbean islands in Central America. In Nicaragua, the Spanish explorers met up with a tribe called the Amaric. All right, we're going to get into that. These people told the Spanish that their land was rich in gold. A French geologist, Jules Marcou, said the Spanish brought this name home. All right, so the Spanish brought this name with them from the Americas back to Europe. It wasn't Vespucci. It wasn't named after Vespucci. The mountain range in Nicaragua was land of perpetual wind and called Amariac, and actually recorded in the sailing logs of Columbus himself. Augustus Le Plongeon said the word America or Amérique actually meant land of the wind in the Mayan language. Le Plongeon was a French American photographer, archaeologist, and author who produced several books that connected the Mayans to the old world. What did I tell you? All right, this is the true old world, and the Mayans are the Nagas who went over to Hindustan. The Nagas. This is the old world. All right, who's the Nagas? Right, the serpents. All right, what we're about to get into. Check it out. A Peruvian people were called the Amaruca. All right, Amaruca. They worship a god named Amaru, a god. Amaru, Amaru. All right, let's go back. So remember that the cross was placed on the tomb, which is the American Peruvian sign for the word Amaru, the cross. And with the addition of the word ka or land, represents the sacred national name America. All right, let's go back. All right, it says a god named Amaru, who was similar to the plumed serpent of the Maya. Amaru was the plumed serpent, it was the same. All right, and who was the plumed serpent? Quetzalcoatl, right? Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl. So they're saying Amaru is Quetzalcoatl. It is the plumed serpent. All right, what are we talking about here? Just talking about snakes, right? Serpent, right? We're talking about dragons. What are we talking about? Flying a plumed serpent with feathers. Discoveries continue to be made in the land of Amaruca, which contains the remarkable Machu Picchu. The last of the Inca leaders was Tupac Amaru. Tupac Amaru, who was executed by the Spanish in 1572. When the Spanish landed in Colombia, they were also told they were in the land of Amaruca. You're in the land of Amaruca. You better recognize that, they told them. You're in the land of Amaruca. Amaru, the land of Amaru. Or the plumed serpent. You're in the land of the plumed serpent. You understand? You're in the land of Quetzalcoatl. And who was Quetzalcoatl? We're going to get into that. It would not be incorrect to assume this was a wide-ranging area that held a group of related civilizations sharing certain characteristics. All right, so we're in this book. It's called The Secret Teachings of All Ages. Y'all, a lot of you probably familiar with this book. I've heard of it. Of course, I know a lot of you've heard of Manly P. Hall. You know who that is? Yeah, we're talking about, high degree Freemasons here. Yeah, we know. But they be dropping jewels, and they teach themselves these things. They keep the truth to themselves because knowledge is power, right? So they use this power against us, right? But then they add their hijack into it, right? So, but they know certain things, right, that we're learning today. They've known these things, all right? So let me just show you one example what we were just talking about, all right? So, and it says here, the red children of the sun, the red, all right, copper colored, red, they call you the red man, right? Right, writes James Morgan Precy. Do not worship the one God. For them, that one God is absolutely impersonal, and all of the forces emanated from that one God are personal. This is the exact reverse of the popular Western conception of a personal God and personal work and forces in nature. Decide for yourself which of these beliefs is the more philosophical. These children of the sun adore the plumed serpent. They adore the plumed serpent, really. Who is the messenger of the sun? The messenger of the sun? He was the god Quetzalcoatl. All right, so the plumed serpent is Quetzalcoatl, right? We just got that before. All right, the Amaru is the plumed serpent. So the plumed serpent is Quetzalcoatl. So we're talking about the same thing. In Mexico, Gucumatz in Quiche, same person. And in Peru, he was called Amaru. He was called Amaru, Quetzalcoatl. From the latter name comes our word America. From the latter, from this Amaru, Amara, remember? The land of Amaraca. Amaruca is literally translated land of the plumed serpent. Amaruca is the land of the plumed serpent. America is the land of Amaru, the land of Quetzalcoatl, the land of plumed serpent, the dragon, right? The priests of this god of peace from their chief center in the Cordilleras once ruled both Americas. The priests of this god of peace. Who we talking about? We talking about Prester John? We talking about King David? We're talking about King David, who once ruled both Americas, North and South. All right, Mexico and Peru, all the kingdoms of the Israelites, all the red men who have remained true to the ancient religion, and all you still who are called red men, talking about the so-called Negro, right, who have remained true to your ancient religion or your ancient law, your ancient connection with your Creator, Most High, are still under their sway. One of their strong centers was in Guatemala, and of their order was the author of the book called Popol Vuh. In the Quiche tongue, Gucumat is the exact equivalent of Quetzalcoatl in the Nahuatl language, Quetzal, the bird of paradise, Colt, serpent. The serpent built in plumes of the paradise bird. All right, this is deep right here. We're gonna get into this a little bit more. All right. So let's learn a little bit about this character, Amaru, aka Quetzalcoatl, Gucumat. All right, Kukulkan. All right, so we're in this book, Publications of the University of Pennsylvania, a series in philology, literature, and archaeology, volume 3. So it's a primer of Mayan hieroglyphics, all right, by Daniel G. Brinton, and AM, MD, LLD, SC. Look at, he got all the letters, all right. Professor of American Archaeology and Linguistics in the University of Pennsylvania, President of the American Association for the Advancement of Science, etc., etc. All right, we're going to pick up here in page 39, right about here. It says, in the myth, he is described as clothed in a long robe. Now they're talking about Itzama, who is, they're relating to Gukumats and Kukulkan, and we know that it's the same as Quetzalcoatl. We got that as well from the last readings, that Amaru is also Gukutsmats, right? All right, in Quiche. So we're talking about the same people. So it says that this person, right, this mythical person, is described as clothed in a long robe, all right, a long robe, and wearing sandals. A long robe and wearing sandals. And what is noteworthy, having a beard. What is noteworthy? What is most noteworthy? All right, because he has a long robe, sandals, and a beard. Who does that describe, man? Who does that sound like? In the calendars of the Centaurs, he was painted in the likeness of a man and a snake, and the masters explained this as the snake with feathers, which moves in the waters, that is, the heavenly waters, the cloud and the rains, for which reason Bishop Nunez de la Vega, to whom we owe this information, identified him with the Mexican Mixcoatl, the cloud serpent, whereas Bishop Landa was in opinion that he was the Mexican Quetzalcoatl, all right, Amaru. All right, so we're talking about Quetzalcoatl, but remember why we got there, right? Because we were talking about the kings of Amaraca or Amaru, right? Amaraca, Amaru, right? On the Pacific coast had a road which followed the course of the Andes Mountains, connecting their city with the capital of Cundin, Amaraca, right? Remember, this was in Bogota, which is modern-day Colombia today, Bogota, right? Bogota. And remember that it told us down here that they placed a cross right on a tomb, which was the American Peruvian sign for the word Amaru, a cross, Amaru, all right? And with the addition of the word Ka, or land, represents the sacred national name America. So remember, Amaru is Quetzalcoatl, all right? So we're in this other book called Researches Concerning the Institutions and Monuments of the Ancient Inhabitants of America. This is written by Alexander D. Humboldt. Again, this is another book by Alexander D. Humboldt that we've read from it before. All right, we're going to go to page 29. So we'll start out the page at the bottom of page 28. It says, though no traditions point out any direct connection between the nations of North and South America, their history is not less fraught with analogies in the political and religious revolutions from which dates the civilization of the Aztecs, the Muiscas, and the Peruvians. Muiscas, we got that in the other book. Men with beards, again, men with beards, and with clearer complexions than the natives of Anahuac. Cundinamarca, look at that, Anamarca, there you go, Anamarca. That's in Bogota, right, with the kings of Amaraca were. All right, so these people with beards, with clearer complexions, does not mean white, doesn't mean white. And the elevated plain of Cusco make their appearance without any indication of the place of their birth, and bearing the title of high priest of legislators, right, lawgivers, of the Friends of Peace and the Arts, which flourished under its auspices, operated sudden change in the policy of the nations, who hailed their arrival with veneration. Quetzalcoatl, Bochica, and Manco Capac are the sacred names of these mysterious beings. All right, so Quetzalcoatl, who is Amaru, remember Quetzalcoatl is Amaru, is also Bochica from the people in Colombia or Bogota region, same place as where Cundinamarca is. All right, and Manco Capac is an Amaru, right, an Inca, one of the first. All right, it says Quetzalcoatl clothed in a black sacerdotal robe, a black sacerdotal robe. All right, in a robe again. Comes from Panuco, from the shores of the Gulf of Mexico. Bochica, the Buddha of the Muishkas, the Buddha. Who's the real Buddha? We're talking about Quetzalcoatl, right? We're talking about that Buddha's first name is Guatama, right? Like Guatemala. Guatemala, and his mom's name is Maya, right? Buddha's mom's name is Maya. We're talking about Quetzalcoatl, all right? Who is Bochica, who is the Buddha of the Muishkas, Muishka, Meshach, Muishka, Moshko, Moshe. All right, now we're in this different book. All right, it's a little blurry, all right, but bear with me. That's the way it just, it is. It was very pixelated. All right, but it's called The Myths of Mexico and Peru by Louis Spence. All right, got him from some of my Atlantis books. Very good author. Quotes a lot of good sources. All right, and it says here, Quetzalcoatl. It is highly probable that Quetzalcoatl was a deity of the pre-Nahua people of Mexico. Pre meaning before the Nahua, says he was regarded as the father of the Toltecs. And legend says that the seventh and youngest son of the Toltec Abraham, Ichtachimoshkuhalt, Quetzalcoatl, whose name means feathered serpent or feathered staff, the staff, became a relatively early period ruler of Tolan, and by his enlightened sway and his encouragement of the liberal arts did much to further the advancement of his people. Perhaps the most important of these is that which regards Quetzalcoatl as a god of the air. He is connected, say some, with the cardinal points and wears the insignia of the cross. He wears the insignia of the cross, which symbolizes them. Again, we're in the book Discovery of the Origin of the Name of America, all right? We're still talking about the name of America, right? It says that they put the sign of the cross was placed on the tombs of people who got bit by snakes, which is the American Peruvian sign for the word Amaru. The cross is Amaru, is Quetzalcoatl, the cross, Amaru. And with the addition of the word Ka, or land, represents the sacred national name America, Amaru, Amaru, the cross. The cross. We're in the book Anacalypsis, an attempt to draw aside the veil of the static Isis, or the inquiry into the origin of the languages, nations, and religions, by the late Godfrey Higgins. All right, volume 2, 1836. All right, and it says here, Quetzalcoatl, or Cotle, is represented in the paintings of the Codex Borgianus. All right, so he's represented in the Mexican Codex, right, nailed to the cross. Nailed to the cross. Sometimes even to two thieves are the crucified with him. So it says sometimes even two thieves are crucified with him, just like the story of Jesus, right? Quetzalcoatl, all right? In volume 2, plate 75, the god is crucified in the heavens in a circle of 19 figures, the number of the Metonic cycle. A serpent is depriving him of the organs of generation. In the Codex, the Mexican god is represented crucified and nailed to the cross, and in another place hanging to it, with a cross in his hands. And in one instance where the figure is not merely outlined, the cross is red. The clothes are colored, and the face and hands quite black. The face and hands quite black. If this was the Christianity of the German Nestorius, how came he to teach that the crucified Savior was black? Oh, why didn't he teach that the Savior was so-called black or a Negro, right? Copper colored, right? Why didn't they teach that? You see what they're telling you in these codices, in the Aztec and these Mexican codices, right? Quetzalcoatl, or the person being crucified, their savior, right, who's being crucified, is black, or so-called black, a Negro person, all right? The name of the god who was crucified was Quetzalcoatl again, Quetzalcoatl. All right, we're back in the book Mythos of Mexico and Peru, and then, I mean, there's this image here, and they're talking about Quetzalcoatl, right? Right, and I just want you to let me just close in. I mean, let me just show you. This is another copy of the same book. You can see this image right here, which says the aged Quetzalcoatl leaves Mexico on a raft of serpents. On a raft of serpents, right? Is he flying on a dragon? What's going on here? All right, so Quetzalcoatl, right? You can't see him, right? But on this version of it, which is blurry, if we zoom in, we can see him, right? Let's zoom into him real quick. All right, can y'all see this? Can y'all kind of make out? Look what they're showing you right here. This is Quetzalcoatl. Look at the clothing, the robe. Look at the beard. I can almost see long hair. All right, this is the PDF I got of it. So you see it better. Who is that? Is this the Grand Khan? Is this King David? Is this Prester John? Meshi, Moses, Quetzalcoatl, Jehoshua, Yahawashi? What are we looking at right here? Amaru, Quetzalcoatl, Amaru. It says here Ancient America Foundation. All right, it says Itli Chotlint, which is an author, in those times a Spaniard, maybe mixed with Indian. Quetzalcoatl and Jesus Christ, it says here. All right. It says in Mexico's great central mesa where Itztli lived, the name by which the bear god of ancient America was generally known was Quetzalcoatl. Quetzal was the name of the beautiful bird with the resplendent long green feathers and the dainty crest. Colt is the ancient Mexican word for serpent. Thus the name Quetzalcoatl means literally Quetzal bird, serpent. Quetzalcoatl was the name applied to the New World god who was in the form of a man, bearded, white-robed, and a great teacher of moral principles. All right, a bearded man with a robe and a great teacher of moral principles. The colt or serpent was an ancient symbol of Israel's Messiah, the Anointed One. So the serpent meant the Anointed One. All right. All right. So just one quick reference, one more of Quetzalcoatl. We're in this book, Antiquities of Mexico by Lord Kingsborough. I've explained this book in some of my videos before. Research, his 9-volume collection, what it's about and everything, all these prestige libraries that are holding all these. These are facsimiles, all right? Facsimiles of the Mexican codices, meaning exact copies, all right? They breaking down the plates and the codices, all right? It says here, plate 2, Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl, and it has these 2 marks here, right? You see that? Let's go to that footnote right now. It says, the Messiah. The Messiah is shadowed in the Old Testament under many types, such as those of a lion, a lamb, a roe, the morning star, or the planet Venus, otherwise called Lucifer, the sun, light, a rock, a stone, the branch, the vine, wine, bread, water, life, the way. And he is there recognized in the triple character of a king, a priest, and a prophet. We're talking about a Khan, king, priest, a prophet. It is very extraordinary that Quetzalcoatl, who the Mexicans believe equally to have been a king, a prophet, and a pontiff, should also have been named by them Seyacalt, or the morning star, Tlaviscalpantecutli, or light, Mesitli, Meshi, Messiah, Meshi. All right, so Messiah says Quetzalcoatl again is he who was born of the virgin. He was born of a virgin? Whoa. So wait a minute. So wasn't also Jesus born of a virgin? Did you know Quetzalcoatl was born of a virgin? You see these stories, but they originate, right? All right, so we're in this book. It's called A Book of the Beginnings by Gerald Massey. All right. And it says here, as Shu and Anhar in Egyptian mythology, and Moses and Joshua conducted their people with the solar orb round the circle of signs, overcoming the opposing powers postulated by the early men. So in the Toltec mythology, Huemak or Huematzin and Quetzalcoatl conducted their people through the pilgrimage and wanderings recorded in their picture writing. Huemak, like Moses, wrote the code of laws for the nation and conducted the civil government. Quetzalcoatl, in relation to Huemak, plays the part of Joshua. Again, Quetzalcoatl, in relation to Huemak, plays the part of Joshua. All right, so we ain't talking about an allegorical New Testament Roman propaganda. Jesus, we're talking about the Torah, we're talking about foundational truth, we're talking about the person who really led the Israelites into Jerusalem, who took over after Moses, Meshi, who's called in the Old Testament Joshua, but his name is Jehoashi, right? Or Jehoshua, Jehoashi. All right. When Quetzalcoatl began to give the laws instead of Huemak, he sent a crier to the top of the mountain of outcry, whose voice could be heard for 300 miles round. Joshua follows Moses as the leader of Israel and instructs the people to go up against Jericho, his mountain of outcry, and assail it with a shout that ought to have been heard at an equal distance, as it was loud enough to make the walls fall flat. The old Red Land, Huetlapalan, was the name of the original home in the north from which the Toltecs migrated. All right, they're talking about Utah. What are you talking about? Their leader, Quetzalcoatl, wore a long robe with crosses. He wore a long robe with crosses. Again, discovery of the origin of the name of America, right? It told us that when a person got bit by a snake, they put the sign of the cross on their tomb, which is the American Peruvian sign for the word Amaru, the cross, Amaru. It is Amalu, cross, Amaru, synonymous, cross. All right, so again, Amaru is Quetzalcoatl, and Quetzalcoatl, all right, again, he wears a long robe marked with crosses, Amaru, cross. The sign identifies him as the one who crosses, Quetzalcoatl attained the land of promise, and in his golden reign, in the
We're a long way east of land we know, far from real open country. More and more civilization. What a damn mess we're making of things.
I've been getting migraines for as long as I can remember. My doctor has been working with me for different allergy treatments to try to manage the allergy portion to mitigate the migraines. My favorite thing about Eskenazi Health is the people who work here. They really make the experience great. It's been a wonderful place for my entire family.
At Eskenazi Health, our expertise is unrivaled and our compassion is genuine.
I am more than my migraines. I am Kelly.
and the ear of wheat grew so large that one man could hardly carry it. Joshua led the people into the land flowing with milk and honey, where a single bunch of grapes was a load for 2 men. All right, so we're talking about Yahawashi, Quetzalcoatl, Amaru. I know we went off subject a little bit, but it has to do with what we're talking about, right? They just added the ka, so it's the land of Amaraca, Amaru, Quetzalcoatl, the Plumed Serpent, the Khan, the priest kings, the land of the priest kings. You understand, Pastor John, King David? We're talking about ancient, the seed. We're talking about the true Ibaria.
In order to fully grasp the implications of America, land of the Plumed Serpent, we need to explore the oldest religion on Earth and its connection to the mythology of the 3 greatest civilizations that once existed in the Americas: the Mayans, the Aztecs, and the Incas.
All right, so we're in the book again, Discovery of the Origin of the Name of America. It says here, the Andes silver mines of Peru and Amaraca are yet the richest in existence, and the finest gems of these mountains are the emeralds found in the Tunga mines near Bogota, which supply nearly the entire market of the world. All right, you see that footnote number 2? So that's the American Encyclopedia. They're telling you, where they get all the supply, the most of the supply in the world, from over here in America, right? The land of milk and honey, the real one, right? Now it says, this is the neighborhood about which the Spaniards heard such fabulous stories of wealth that so many expeditions left in search of the golden city, El Dorado. All right, because it shines because of the gold. It's a Dorado gold. Baron de Humboldt, who had spent many years in these regions, says that Luis Daza met 1535 an Indian of Cundin, Amaraca, at Casa Amaraca. who was sent by his sovereign to ask the assistance of King Atahualpa, and as usual praised the richness of his country to Daza. But what fixed the attention of the Spaniards was the story of a lord whose body was covered with gold dust, and who lived at a lake in the middle of the mountains. A chief or a lord who was covered in gold dust. So now talk about El Dorado. So El Dorado, when you think about it, a person covered in gold dust in Spanish, you would say El Dorado, right? So were they always talking about a city or a specific person? And who are we talking about here? We talking about a priest king? Are we talking about a King David? What are we talking about here? This was probably that to the east of Iraca and Tunga, where the two spiritual and secular chiefs of the empire of Kundin Amarca lived. Its temple of the sun was not far from the north side of the lands first found by the Spaniards. The high priest powdered his face and hands with gold dust every morning, which he had previously oiled or greased so as to retain it before offering sacrifice. Here, the chief kingdom in the Western Hemisphere when Columbus landed was Amaraca or America. Again, was Amaraca, the chief kingdom. It was called Amaraca, whose Inca kings, part of the Incas, claimed descent from the Ayamara race. Ayamara, Amaru, Amara, Plumed Serpent, snake kings of Ayamaraca race of the Ayamaraca, the earliest known of the existing population from whom these monarchs who resembled them got some of their arts and religious ceremonies. The national history of Amaraca names saying Amaraca or America, the capital, as the first city of their empire. Alright, so it says, to see unabridged edition, the Spanish wrote it Guamarca, Gumarca, and pronounced it G, which does not exist with natives, like an H, so Huamarca, which gives us a Hua, or saint, a word added to their sacred names, while their history indicates that it ought to be Amaraca, or America. It is near the celebrated lake Amatitlan. These people were the Quichua race, and from this the Castilians called the city the Holy Cross of Quichua. The latter name only today, the Amaru or Holy Cross of these people. Again, the Amaru or Holy Cross, Amaru cross, Quetzalcoatl cross of these people was conspicuous there, as in all the chief cities of America. It is the central object of adoration in the immense sacred ruins of Palenca, from which the continent was probably first called Land of the Holy Cross, Land of the Holy Cross, Amaru, Land of Amaru, Holy Cross. One author has attempted to find the etymology of Gumarca by phonetic comparison, forgetting that in pictorial literature, the meaning of a sign, when lost, can only be obtained by its morphological classification. The Spaniards endeavored to turn the American names into familiar sounds, as in the city of Rimac, which is today known as Lima. The kings of America claim descent from the Amara race, who are still existing and the most ancient race on the continent. All right, you still exist, and you're the most ancient race on the continent. Amaru, Can, in the map of Peru by the Holyoke Society showing the cradle of the Incas, may be seen Ayamaraca. In this neighborhood is an American city, which Cieza de Leon says is the finest in America, with magnificent houses built of cut stone and massive fortifications. The name given it was Huamanga, but we find in Torres Dictionary that Huamanca is more correct. When the Ayamaras moved south, they probably founded another Amaraca before the Inca kings followed and took it from them. The war which broke out between Atahualpa and Huascar began by the former seizure of a rich province and his brother's kingdom, who took him prisoner, but he escaped and told his people that the sun turned him into an Amaru. The sun turned him into a Plumed Serpent? What's he talking about? Amaru? Which enabled him to return, and this inflamed their religious sentiment to such an extent that they vanquished the enemy and captured King Huascar. Cieza de Leon, Haluk Society. We're in the book still Discovery of the Origin of the Name of America. It says the Amaracan or American National History. These celebrated Amaracans or Americans, improperly called Peruvians, had a sacred book, and it says Popol Vuh. So I thought that was the Mayas. So they're telling you that the Amaracans, who are called Peruvians today, right, improperly, because it's all the same people, they're trying to let you know, all right, they also had the Popol Vuh. It says Casa Amaraca, and it says 3, right, the footnote in the 3, and it says the kings performed miracles here. So the kings performed miracles. Who were these Amaracan kings? Amaru, Plumed Serpent, Quetzalcoatl. What are we talking about? Was the royal sacred necropolis, and near it is Pult Amarca, where the sulfur springs are still called the King's Baths. John Amaraca was their Hercules. From John, behold, the present indicative of the verb Janhal, to be. Behold, America was an appropriate name for the American Hercules. There was Bin Amarca in the Gulf where Manco Capac, the prince of American legislators and first Inca king, received his divine vocation. We got before that Manco Capac was Quetzalcoatl too, and Bochica, all right, from Colombia, same people, same person. Then there were the cities of Ang Amarca, Chimpi Amarca, Yuria Amarca, Cat Amarca, Col Amarca, and Patinamit Amarca, or America the capital. The only one which appears in their ancient documents and sacred history as the foundation of their kingdom. All right, this is real stuff they never teach us. All right, they had this word already. All right, splendor of the kings of America, their mountain cities, palaces, and customs. The kings or Incas, according to their own and other native history, were conquerors of nations. Already in an advanced state of civilization, they selected the very best and richest part of the continent for their strongholds, and paid particular attention to its gold mines, which were nearly all in the Andes, the most compact mountain system in the world, running along the Pacific coast almost the entire length of South America, from Patagonia, the southern end of the Pacific Ocean, to the Caribbean Sea and the Atlantic, a distance of at least 4,500 miles. At latitude 22 south, this mountain divides into 2 colossal ridges, which enclose a valley 500 miles long, 3,260 wide, 1,300 feet above the level of the sea, and so completely walled in by high mountains that its streams, which have not any outlet apparently, meet in a famous lake of 4,600 square miles, Titicaca, the largest in South America, where the beautiful palaces of the Vestal Virgins of Amaraca, in the island of Coati, have been excavated for centuries. The work still going on, a Spanish explorer having found gold and silver to the extent of $4,450,280 in one of them. In another island of this lake, where the first American high priest Manco Capac received his divine call from heaven, becoming a child of the sun, there are immense sacred ruins at Tijuanaco. A tradition is still repeated of large vaults filled with treasure beneath the great mound, and of subterraneous passage leading to Cusco, one of the royal cities 400 miles away, where among the innumerable sculptures the Amaru, or Great Serpent predominate. The Amaru, Quetzalcoatl, the Amaru, or the Khans, the serpent, the snake kings, right? Whose swift quivering movement was taken as an emblem of the streaks of lightning, so often seen there and said to come from the sun, a belief indirectly true. The Amaru Cancha, or Palace of Snakes, with its cornices and interior walls covered with gold, and the Temple of the Sun, were immense stone buildings enclosed in large aqueducts, and gardens kept in order by priests, 4,000 of whom were attached to the latter temple, where the royal family alone could enter, the surrounding ground being considered so holy that one could only walk with bare feet within 200 paces of it. Of the 300 temples at Cusco, this one unsurpassed in the greatness and richness of its decorations by any building in the world, all right? By any building in the world, all right? Is only one instance of the immense value of the treasures of Amaraca before the Spanish invasion, all right? This is what they were calling Amaraca, the Amaru people, all right? There's a connection here with Mexico, or the Mexicans, the Mayans, all right? Toltecs. Near this city is Ollantaytambo, with numerous palaces and buildings wrought in polished marble, where that of the Virgins of the Sun, a marvel of Amaracan art, was well guarded by its precision and bridges, not far from a rocky mountain, which may still be seen for a mile long and 700 feet wide, apparently covered with white specks, which are tombs cut in the solid rock. The roads in this kingdom, says Baron the Humble, are the most useful and stupendous works ever executed by man, all right? Alexander the Humble is telling you that the Inca roads, all right? We're not talking about primitive people here. We're talking about high civilization, creators of civilizations, all right? The roads in these kingdom, says Baron the Humble, are the most useful and stupendous works ever executed by man. Their four chief routes from Cusco rival the best Roman work, frequently going into the region of perpetual snow, completely closed in winter, through tunnels cut in solid rock, over giant precipices, by steps crossing rivers, by solid masonry, or suspension bridges swung with osier ropes, leading along the tablelands of Pasco, the highest point of the Andes, occupied by man, to their richest silver mines at an elevation of 14,000 feet above the level of the sea, and only 1,500 below the perpetual snow line. There are 8 of these great highways in Chile, 6 in Bolivia, and 3 in Peru. The valleys of the great branches of the Andes are also specially adapted for these roads, which are connected with the seacoast by various passes over the western mountains, one of them running from the Pacific seaport of Trujillo, crosses over a summit of 11,600 feet before reaching Casa Amaraca, the capital of the kings, near which are the ruins of excavations through these mountains, made to afford an outlet to a lake, which had during the rainy season inundated the surrounding country, including the valley of Kurimeo.
When John Kosel-Sharon's mom called him with some bad news,
she said, "Oh, I burnt my hand."
Kurimeo, where gold was found in great quantities and smelted in furnaces. This road is continued to Popoyan and ended at Bogota. The capital of the kingdom of Cundin, Amaraca, is still a celebrated commercial thoroughfare. There are immense ruins at Casa Amaraca, with subterranean treasure vaults in the houses and a portion of the king's palace cut out of solid rock. Padre Calancha, one of the pioneers referring to the buried treasures of Casa Amaraca and other cities, says that if they were discovered, they would be sufficient to enrich the world. All right, you see what's going on in the land of Prester John. You see when Marco Polo went to visit the Grand Khan, they're talking about these places in America right here, where they were encountering, you see, the kingdoms of Cundin Amaraca, the kingdoms of Amaraca, the Amaru, the Plumed Serpent, the Snake Line, the Snake Kings, the Priest Kings. Continuing in the book, Discovery of the Origin of the Name of America. It says here, the population of the empire of Amaraca, which extended along the Pacific coast for 3,000 miles, was estimated at 12 million people. Huayna Capac, who was one of the most illustrious of the American kings, had subdued the entire country surrounding Quito, and the queen of the newly conquered territory became one of his wives, by whom he had a son named Atahualpa, who was his favorite, although his brother Huascar was the lawful heir to the throne. During the monarch's last days, this queen induced him to issue a decree by which her son was to succeed him as the king of Quito, while his brother, the heir apparent, was to reign in the ancient kingdom. At the king's death, Atahualpa proceeded to the capital of Quito, where he was royally received and assumed the crown. The late king had asserted that this decree was not contrary to the national law of primogeniture, as he was only returning Atahualpa to the nation of which he was the legitimate sovereign, Quito being a new conquest. And yeah, this story almost sounds like, the story of Jacob and Esau, right? And you see this image right here. It says that it's the king Atahualpa attacks his brother army near Casa Amaraca. See that? Historians disagree as to the cause of the war between the brothers, in which Atahualpa defeated Huascar's army, annexed his kingdom, and imprisoned himself in the fortified city of Amaraca, where he was held when the Spaniards arrived in Casa Amaraca. Continuing the book, Discovery of the Origin of the Name of America. It says here, in the first standard map of the world showing the Western Hemisphere, it was called an island, and there also appeared another name, Tamaracua, meaning Amaraca or America, which was not an island, but part of the mainland, much resembling one, as may observe by our sketch. All right, so it says number 3, but no, let's go to that. It says, the point of land, so like an isle, and now known as Maracaibo, was no doubt part of Amaraca, Pana, or the country of Amaraca, mentioned by Humboldt, and it is a curious illustration of these early errors to find it called by Ojeda, the isle, province, and lake of Coquivacoa, which the crown appointed him governor of, though existing only in his imagination. But they soon found out their mistake, for the name Coqui meant Chibchi, the Chibchi royal race of the kingdom of Cundin, Amaraca. The Cape Chibchi was opposite the supposed isle, Codazzi's map, and Mercator, getting nearer the fact, wrote it Cuchi and other, Chibchi, which they found later on was the name of the people and not their country, and altered it to Maracaibo, which, like Maracapana, meant Amaraca or America, Amaraca, all right? Humboldt says that only 2 languages were spoken on the mainland first visited. That of the Caribs, always at war with the people of Amaraca Pana, the Caribs. All right, we're always warring with the Amaraca. We know that the Caribs were warring with the Anahuacans, in Spanish, Anahuacans. We know that Mexico's called Anahuac, Amaracans. We know the Amaru, Amaraca. The connection there gets a code in the Mexicans. All right, so who must therefore have spoken the other, or Tamanagua. The Orenago, he adds, is Tamanagua word. Tamanagua, Tama, Tamir, Tameri. It was probably from them that the Spaniards first heard of the treasures of Cundin Amaraca. It is evident that these people living on the coast of Amaraca were the Americans, for which the name Tamanagua, the isle of Tamaracua, are intended. We suppose that the isle of Tamaragua might have meant Jamaica, pronounced Jamaica. Ho ho ho! By the Spaniards. Wow, Jamaica by the Spaniards. Tamaragua. All right, was this Jamaica? Is that what they're trying to say? Tamaragua was Jamaica, and would have explained the cause of Mercator's calling the West Indies Camercan Islands. But the evidence we found disproved it. American, or Peruvian in parentheses, it says, was the diplomatic and fashionable language of the Western Hemisphere at the time of the Spanish conquest, as we now find French spoken all over the world because it has been accepted as the tongue which must be used by all nations in their official communications. When Christians became powerful enough to make their language international, they introduced their religion also, and so did the Americans, who preached Amaru, or the cross, Amaru, or the cross, Amaru, or the cross, to which we will refer presently, and consequently we find this faith all over America. On Mercator's map may be observed the name of the Arahuacas, given to the country behind the Golden Castle Mountains on the coast of Amaraca, Pana. The chief god of these people is Hua Amaracon, and they were neighbors of the Caribes, in whose houses there was always a maraca or tamaraca, which was the name of their household god, and when shaken by their priests, the Great Spirit spoke through them. They were placed on the ground adorned with feathers, and meat and wine was placed before them, which the people thought they eat. Persia says that on the coast of Amaraca, Pana, among their many idols and figures which they honor as gods, they have one like St. Andrew's cross, which they thought preserved them from night spirits, and they hanged it on their newborn children, a cross. These maracas or tamaracas were rattles. La maraca, the rattle, la maraca, right? No doubt of the Amaru or rattlesnake. And so we find the sacred cross or Amaru among all the Amaracan nations. The chief god at Haiti, where Columbus resided, was also Hua Amaracon. Again, the chief god of Haiti, Amaru, was an Amaru, was a plum serpent, the snake king, Hua Amaracon, written Amanacon, Amanacon by the Spaniards, Anacon, Amanacon. All right, you hear that?
Yeah.
This Friday.
If any of you want to bow out. Go ahead, yeah. Testing. Yeah, man. Peace to Kurimeo, man. That was part one, man. Hey, was that your first time you seen that, bro?
Yeah, that was my first time seeing that, man. Kurimeo crushed it, man. Yeesh. You know, I have seen some of that information, though. I have seen some of that information before. But
yeah, well, we're talking about the presentation put together, you know what I'm
saying? Yeah, never like that.
To anybody, you know, it's kind of long, so you have to, you know, and a lot of stuff is he went around, he went a lot of places, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Mexico down to Nicaragua, you know what I'm saying? All the way over and finished up at the end over there in the Caribbean islands, man. With actual records and actual things from the Spanish. And a lot of times we get the British mindset, right? The translated mindset. It always takes me back to Maroon, right? When the Spanish were in Jamaica, they were dealing with the Maroons. They were the descriptive term, or Negro de Terras, right? The descriptive term of the people that they were dealing with, right? What is called Jamaica now. See how this works? So when the British came in, they changed it. They changed a lot of things, okay? And this is what we're dealing with when we're dealing with etymology. We're talking about America. They came here, it was already here, right? So that's the thing that we talk about is a great job of that, because we can go to Wikipedia right now. They're going to tell you right now, Amerigo Vespucci. Okay? Like I told you about the lost tapes, Chief Holiday lost tapes, you know what I'm saying? I've done this show years ago, maybe 4 years ago, and we're talking about just disprove who Amerigo was. His name wasn't Amerigo, it was Alberto, you know what I'm saying? Vespucci's not his name, it's not a surname, didn't have that then. So it's just a whole bunch of stuff that we exposed, you know what I'm saying? And I know you know about it too, you know, as well, brother. But like I'm saying though, as far as Kurimeo putting together a piece of work, man, that's just a classic, y'all. So it's not over. I just wanted to put that out there, man. It's just a classic piece of work, man. So salute to you, brother. Yeah, man. And like I said, man, you know, there's a lot of great teachers out there, man. So y'all gonna be seeing a lot of that, man. You know, and we want to share things with some people that maybe not that heard of some of the teachers and some of the people that we build with, you know what I'm saying, and that we respect their work and they respect our work. Y'all see how that work? Y'all understand the point? That we respect each other's work, man. So and we learn from each other, and that's what the circles and people that you're around, you're supposed to learn from each other, man. So that's the thing, man, that we have to do, man, and respect each other's lanes, man. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's just it. And, you know, and it's lanes and it's, I mean, like I said, man, y'all are definitely the smartest chat room in the world, man. You know, the information and things y'all dropping in the chat room, it's crazy. You understand what I'm saying? So this is how this thing works, man. Everybody's a piece of the puzzle, man, to get this thing done, man. So, you have anything to say, bro? I got so much to talk about when we're talking about this first piece right here. You there, bro?
Okay. Oh yeah, I'm here, family. Man, man, yeah, it's too much. It's too much to talk about that first one. I love the fact that it was all brought out that way. The way he did it, man, it was very strategic. It's like there's no dispute, you know. There's no room for argument or even trying to critique. It's impossible. It's like, how can you critique when all the sources relevant to the information is shown? It's very difficult. It's very difficult for anybody to come in and try that. It could only be a slander campaign against that information. And you know, the Amerigo Vespucci situation, that name, Amerigo, like Vespucci. The sad part is it might not even be his real name. Might not even be his real name.
The nigga might not even exist. Like, that's a whole nother subject.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, you know, a lot of these characters, a lot of these fictional characters. And that's what, you know, just to kind of build on what you were saying, you know, for me, y'all, like the dude that, let's just say, had the Native American look on the video. Whatever it is, like I said, we have to decipher everything, you know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. So when even when you're reading books and you're reading things that are talking about time periods or whatever, he's talking about Native Americans when Native Americans didn't exist. So, and then that has to be said. So whether it's Jack D. Forbes writing about a time period, he's saying Native Americans and Africans, but then once you get into the book, he tell you that they're changing names for political stuff, like political gain. So I could put a word now and I can write it back in history. Christmas Addicts, Paul Cuffey, these are African Americans now. Peter Salem, all these niggas is African Americans. No matter what we talking about. Anybody that you find over here, whatever. Or then they can mix it. Oh, African descent. See what I'm saying? So, and we hear a lot of people that say something. The truth is the truth. The colors don't matter about none of that, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We're just talking about exposing the truth. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to New York in the building, NY Giants in the building. Yeah, salute to NY. And he asked, like, as far as repping this culture, well, really just repping your ancestors, repping who you are. Once you start doing the research of yourself, like, that's in right now, right? Europeans are doing it. We could do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you get into the conversation, bro. You know what I mean? Hey, where are you from? And they be like, oh, we're from here. Well, I did my research and I come from the Carolinas over to Texas. Y'all follow me? Oh, really? Dang, you know what I'm saying? And so that's something that's you know what I mean? It's like the brother says, like, you can't debunk that. You can't debate that. Like, they are proud Irish people, proud Germans, proud black, you know what I'm saying? So they Welsh, they be proud. Like, we should be proud fucking American. And remember, you know what I'm saying? It should be penalties, high penalties to slander us, to prohibit us from doing anything on our goddamn land. And we ain't got no fucking reservation, no projects, none of that. All this shit is ours, man. Everything that you see. That's how that works. So y'all roads, light poles, pipes, fiber optics, with all that shit on our land, we should be getting the cut. That's how I think. Like, the biggest cut. Like, we should be handing out everything else. That's how I feel, but I digress. Baby steps. Power is power. I don't know what else. So a lot of times, we get caught up in the color thing. We get caught up in the power struggle. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't do that. Like we standing on the truth right here. This is our country. They came here because it was great. So when we hear certain things, don't put yourself in Kunta's place. Like motherfucker, yeah, it is great. Thanks. When did you get here, old ass man? Bro, like I wanted to ask you, old ass man. I said, I don't know where the fuck I was. I was somewhere public, right? And I was in the rush. And I seen he had the Make America Great hat again. I was like, he was like 100. I promise. Well, he looked like it. But anyway, I wanted to stop and be like, yo, bro, Poland, where you from? Like, really, be like, yo, I'm from Poland. I just came here. Y'all following me? Then we'd have a real conversation about what he's talking about. When did you come here? Well, I came here in 1978. I've been here 40 years. Whatever. Y'all follow me? But he's in the white man's role. So a lot of times when we talk about a lot of things that we're talking about, yo, we have a historical foundation, a scientific foundation about everything that we're talking about. So when it comes to the social part of it, we have all these other things to back us up. It's not even open for debate who you are. You know what I'm saying? So when you do your own research on yourself, man, and go from there, man, it's enlightening. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to the brother, Mr. Albert Smith, man. He was on here talking about he talking his grandfather. Y'all follow me? Like, yo, that is deep. How excited he was, how excited his grandfather was, bro. Think about that. He's finding people in his family off these free ass websites. Well, some of them are not free, so you gotta pay a little money. I think they get you in there from that. You know, they say, oh, we're gonna come in free. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna post them tonight too, man. The 10 free websites to get your genealogy done. So yeah, exhaust all means, man. That's how I look at it, man. So salute to everybody, man. That's been tuned in, man. We definitely appreciate it, man. Like I said, man, that's a classic right there. Please, I know it probably got about 30,000 views on. I don't even know, but if one person got something out of that, we've done something. That's how that works.
That's right.
Yeah, that's how that works, bro. MT Soul.
Yeah, that's Amerigo Vespucci's real name.
Yeah, there's different variations of it, but it comes down to Albert.
That's right. Albert. That's right.
Not nothing Amerigo, none of that Albert, nigga, like fat ass Albert, nigga. Fuck out of here. Nigga, we don't care about none. I don't give a fuck anyway. How about that? Fuck them. Fuck what they write. Like, y'all, do we give a fuck? Libra, do we give a fuck? We don't care about what y'all write. We don't give a fuck. Nigga be like, oh, we have the doctrine of discovery. Nigga, my tribe was like, white, bring that shit over here you want to. Bring it over here. Y'all think we was laying down for some fucking paper, nigga? Y'all crazy as hell, man. I will wipe my ass with all y'all books. All of them. I told them niggas a long time ago, burn all y'all books. Because if you just goddamn dumb, the book, you need to burn every goddamn book you got. Straight up. Bonfire. Straight the fuck up. Niggas is too goddamn dumb. And people that's listening to dumbass shit, burn your books too, nigga. That's crazy. You listen to a dummy. Telling you some dumbass shit. Don't make no sense. Where, like I said, it's been out, so it ain't like they can't debunk this. It's been out 6 months to 9 months, right? It's been out for a minute. Like, they can't debunk that.
No, there's no debunk that.
That's another thing. I definitely posted this, and like we be having little back chats with them and shit. Like when we get, so yeah, we be posting stuff and books. So they got a lot of this information. They just might not watch it or might not read it. That's their fault. It don't matter. But we still offered it. People mad, be like, well, y'all got Pan Africans over here. Shout out to Zulanda Zachary. People learning, bro. Don't give them an opportunity to grow. And you was a Pan African last year, nigga. You trying to block other Pan Africans from coming in here? What type of shit? Who do that? Wasn't that your path, nigga? Won't you let other people come in? That is the craziest shit. Bro, y'all is the weirdos, the weirdest motherfuckers ever. I only want to be the one. I don't want nobody. Like, come on, bro. Like, we want everybody to come home. This shit's crazy. Shit is crazy. Crazy, deranged lunatics, man. It don't make no sense. So people are, you just as worse as the people that you talking about. So yeah, man, we're taking this thing to the next level, y'all. So we don't have no room for hate. We don't have enough energy for that. It takes up too much energy to hate. It's time to build. Let's start at least getting the plans together. Be like, man, for 100 years now, be like, well, they did at least have some plans right here to build this stadium. Like, at least they did it. So now we can do it. You know what I mean? Because they had the plan. At least put some fucking blueprints together for the youngsters. Can we do that? Can we leave a blueprint to the ones that are not here that's going to hear this 100 years from now, 200 years from now? Let's go be talking about the shit we're doing as being historical or history. Do y'all see it? We're making history every day. People are waking up every day. Come on, this is crazy. Brother told he said that he tried to pass this to at least one person a day. This information. Shot.
That's right. I love how when he started speaking on Prester John, it's a funny thing about that name, Prester. I mean, it's not the proper name for Prester. It's really presbyter. But Prester, the obsolete is a venomous snake. See that connection right back to Quetzalcoatl? Then a scorching whirlwind. See? What does America mean? What is the definitions of it? The whirlwind, the wind. The other one, the archaic, will say a neck vein swollen with anger. This is a definition of Prester. I just wanted to share that because we're digging into this. Kurimeo loves digging into etymologies and digging into the names. And I myself, share that same passion. But when I got into that Prester John,
top of color soldier, man. It's about that's what this word's about, man. Or if you're at the grocery store or whatever, man, it's these conversations, man. These are conversations we're supposed to have.
He said he tries to get one person a day. Huh?
I can't see you not having. The beautiful part about this, it could be in sports, it's entertainment. Out of S&E coming soon. Sports, news, entertainment, everything it comes back to us. You cannot have an intelligent conversation unless you include what they want to call us abos. Like, I think that's hilarious. like they think it's a derogatory thing. Like, it's not. It's just saying we're the first. We're the first. We're the first here. That's all we saying. And I want to see the Pan-African to say that we're not. Who is he? Please show your face. Because every time, if y'all notice that, none of them is going to say that. None of them is that goddamn dumb. Especially some of these ones that sit around here and tell you that the black man is the original man. Because a lot of them that came through the 5% type of teaching, some type of way. You understand what I'm saying? Literally, they have to. Like, there's no other way, especially coming through the so-called conscious community. Really? Think about it. Like, there's no way for you not to be so-called conscious. You know what I'm saying? So even a lot of the guys that are Christians looked up to Malcolm X. They should be Christians. They don't mess with the Islam part as far as what Malcolm X was bringing, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So people read the books, stuff like that, whatever.
That's definitely what's up. Yeah, I got this set up in segments. So for the family, what happens is we'd have to hop on over to part 2. I got it set up to where we leave this, and we go over to the next one. So I don't want anybody to get lost. I know some might still be watching. It might be a little behind. Okay. Chief, you still there?
What's that?
So I'm setting the next one up right now.
Yeah, man. This is definitely a dope build, Kurimeo, man. But like I said, man, it's really like the main thing that I wanted to stress with this video is that America was here. You know what I'm saying? They didn't bring it here, and then that opens up so many possibilities in your mind. What does that mean? You know what I'm saying? That has to mean something to you when you hear this. Like it can't, your mind can't just stop at this information. You have to go further. If America was here when they came here, what are we saying? What does that mean?
It's a good question. Because you can't use Amerigo Vespucci. We got Amaru and Amarique. So, it can't be, hold on. I got an incoming call. Hold on.
Yeah, man.
Hello?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Peace. Hey, we can hear you too, by the way. Peace to all the guys and goddesses out there, man. We definitely appreciate all the love and support, man. Check it out, right? Like 2 more parts. This part's a little shorter than the first part, and then the second part. The third part is like 20 minutes, something like that. It's gonna go through this, man. Get on into this evening. Yeah, we'll keep it going. I don't know if anybody want to come through, but yeah, we open for whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? So we'll get cracking. What else we got going on, Lotus? No, this is a great build out about America. If America is already here, what are we talking about, right? We showed you guys ancient artifacts, right? Ancient artifacts. Show this all the time, right? And we show the bones, we show these different things that science has proven to be here in the Americas, right? Prior to these people getting here. So you see actual carvings of language. Like we actually showed languages last night, carved in gold, carved in stone, you know what I'm saying? And when it's carved in stone, it's called petroglyphs, right? Petroglyphs are older than hieroglyphs. Do y'all get this? Do you understand? Like, I don't get it. Like, and they have found the oldest petroglyphs out here in the Southwest of Nevada, Utah, California, these areas out here, right? But specifically out here in Nevada. And also they find mummies. This shit's crazy. I just go, like, we're gonna bring all this stuff out, right? The Grand Canyon. I mean, it's just so much stuff, y'all, that they're hiding. And they had the nerve to be like, oh, this is the ISIS temple, this is this. I'm like, what? Like, what? Boy, time out. So, we could go back and find newspaper clippings back in the 1900s. I think it was in Arizona, and they were talking about the artifacts, the so-called Egyptian, so-called Buddhist, so-called, all these different things. Hey, look, we're finding more evidence that these things come from America and then go to other parts of the world. But it ain't my business. You know what I'm saying? So you guys start seeing these similarities, I don't know if you guys can see some of the crosses and the Star Davids and the fucking candle holders. That comes from America. It didn't go the opposite. So a lot of times when we're hearing these people's depictions of the old world, new world kind of conversations, right? They always speak from this is the new world. Well, it's not new to us. We were already here. Okay? We didn't come here. We were already here. Check. We're older than everybody else. Check. Fuck all that, man. We're not about to keep going back and forth. When we say this is great grandma, man, this is what this is. Y'all can respect that or check it. You could be whatever the fuck else after that. But we are the originators. We are the first. That's why everybody's emulating us. We don't emulate y'all. Like, that's how that works. It's not the opposite, bro. Like, come on, man. This shit's getting weird. So anyway, make a long story short, right? We talk about the inventions, and people even talk about the time periods when they invented stuff. You know what I'm saying? You gotta look at that. It's a so-called new country with all these so-called slaves inventing all these things that the world is using today. Are y'all serious? Why y'all didn't invent it before that? Stop telling us dumb shit, bro. Like that's why I don't like dumb shit. Like when people say stuff, I'm like, yo, that don't make sense. That's dumb. That's dumb. Stop looking at yourself as a minority. Open your mind. Stop being local. Be global. At least let your mind break down barriers that's there for you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not thinking right, bro. We limited in ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And that's a problem for me. Like, there's so much opportunities. Why not explore them? We don't want to do it. We refuse to do it. And everybody said, no, we're all gonna do the same thing. We're all gonna open up a barbecue shack. We're all gonna open up a car wash. We all gonna be fucking rappers, ball players. It's the same. Come on, bro. Like, nah, this is real. There's so many opportunities. Open up doctor offices. You know what I'm saying? Clinics that really doing things for our people. Fuck out of here, man. Y'all, is this real? Like, what are we talking about? Is this real? People might say, you know what? I want to go to school, become a nurse or whatever, because I want to work in this clinic. But there's training situations. Man, shout out to Zoe Taylor, man. Project Tomahawk, man. That thing it's gonna be ready to be presented, man, to the people, man. I think it's gonna be dope, y'all. So shout out to Zoe, man. Shout out to Ty Data. Yeah, man, it's just so much going on, y'all, man. So many things brewing, man, and cooking. You know, so I'm very inspired, man. You back yet, Lotus?
Oh yeah, I'm back.
All right. Yeah, man. So get a little music.
Definitely. What song would you like to hear?
I want to hear something upbeat, man. They don't go. I'll be on the lookout for Tribe Up, Sports News, Entertainment, man. S&E, man. We are 9 a.m. Eastern, man. So be on the lookout for that. Don't really have to end time yet.
别说哪有卖给你的不知道，这个可以。
Lifestyle, man.
你给我这些实的啊！你给我这你先实的，不知道你那个。
Apologies for the Mandarin in the background. Apologies for the Mandarin in the background. It's gotta come talk right by around, man.
我以为他都是，我寻思5颜六色嘛，回家弄坏。
I ain't talking about that.
下手下的挺快。你想往那个。
Always messing with family. Hold on. What song you want to play?
Stay on Go.
Stay on Go. That's what I'm talking about. All right, let me pull it up.
What is...
Stay on go, stay on go. Yeah, man. Shout out to my OG, man. Shout out to Jazzy Tuck, man. Corrupt City, Texas. We in the building. Let's get it, man. Purple Panthers Entertainment. Y'all hear it? Red and blue makes purple. Panthers. We get it. ORG, man. Original Righteous Gangsters. Green Gang. Life. Money and family is all for life. That's all. Shout out to all my comrades. You dig? Peace to the guys, man. You already know what it is. Say less. They're like, say no more. Nah, say less. Yo, man, I'm still seeing this shit, bro. Like, yo, but I think what it is though, man, they just like these dudes be like in the same shirt. So what these dudes are doing, they're just releasing like 15-minute segments of like a 2-hour video. I mean, a 2-hour interview, right? And yeah, I mean, yo, bro, like I don't know, bro, like I at this point right now, I just think people be making up shit just to get a check. And they gotta be paying these guys actually crazy ass questions. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just absolutely insanity. They don't have a statute of limitations on harming people. I just want people to know. Like they don't. So I just think, it's a lot of weirdo shit going on, man. And I see a lot of OGs, supposed OGs getting involved in. Don't do that. I'm becoming. Let these youngsters have that dumb shit, bro. Don't get involved with that, yo. I don't know. It's just weird, man. A lot of stuff going on. But yeah, I just don't speak on, the situation. Hey, whenever you're ready, bro.
Oh yeah, I'm ready, family. We about to throw this My OG on. Stay on go.
Featuring Jazzy Tuck. It's a league record, man. They ain't even down there, but it's hard.
Jazz. Money on my line, so I gotta go. Soon as it's my time, then I'm out the door. Don't care what they say, cause I'm finna blow. She asked me where I stay, bitch, I stay on go. Stay on go, stay on go. They ask me where I stay, bitch, I stay on go. Stay on go, stay on go. Ask me where I stay, bitch, I stay on go. They know it's my time, shine, bitch, I'm about to blow. Go, every day I'm fresh, yes, like I'm off the boat. Go, every time you hear me, see me, everything gon' glow. Go, they'll call your girl, before I snatch your hoe. Go, I don't want your hoe, no, I just wanna throw. Go, we done fuck before. Go, and I think you know. Go, said she wasn't at home, gone, you didn't even go. No, said she had to work. No, she ain't even go. No, bitches like my smile. Why? When I smile it glow. Go, and they like my style. Why? Cause I stop for show. Go, no, they want me trying to get me on the low. I'ma fuck you like I want you, then little bitch, I got to go. These bitches be on me cause I'm finna blow. I went to Atlanta, they was trying to go. I went to Columbus, Georgia, did a show, and they was looking soon as I hit the door. All of Decatur fucking with some hoes. I damn near shot some niggas at the store. Went to be live and I showed them my flow, and I made a rain on them off the top floor. Go, money on my line, so I gotta go. Soon as it's my time, then I'm out the door. Don't care what they say, cause I'm finna blow. She asked me where I stay, bitch, I stay on go. Stay on go, stay on go. They ask me where I stay, bitch, I stay on go. Stay on go, stay on go. Ask me where I stay, bitch, I stay on go. I stay on G-O-G-O-G-O. He know, she know, that's what we D-O. Smoking on this C4, say what you tryna see for. Made $1 million in this street, hey, now I'm tryna see for. I am my own boss, baby, what I gotta pee for? I've been smoking 30 years cause I don't have a P.O. Started with a 2 for 20, made it to a kilo. Used to get a key, how now I get a kilo. Get a kilo, 4, 5, 6 up. I ain't talking CeeLo. Drink a lot of Pepsi, plus I gave away some free coke. Never been a bully, though I murdered me a depot. Family over everything, I came up in a G-code. Better keep your teeth closed, better keep that heat close. Cause you know these streets cold, never be for schizo. They playing the freak games, just snatching up G-souls. They bringing out G-code with a little bit of pink code. Better hit the money on my line, so I gotta go. Soon as it's my time, then I'm out the door. Don't care what they say, cause I'm finna blow. She asked me where I stay, bitch, I stay on go. Stay on go, stay on go. They ask me where I stay, bitch, I stay on go. Stay on go, stay on go. Ask me where I stay, bitch, I stay on go. They know it's my time, shine, bitch, I'm about to blow. Go, every day I'm fresh, yes, like I'm off the boat. Go.
Yeah, man, it's Jazzy Tuck, my OG, stay on go. Yeah, man, coming soon, man. Purple Panthers Entertainment, man. We're in the building. D-Town stand up. Montown stand up. South Oak Cliff stand up. Ag Town, Funky Town. Everybody stand up, man. America stand up. How about that? Let's get up. Get up. Let's get up. Let's do something. You know what I'm saying? It's the best time in the world right now, man. Get out. Get up and just do something, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we got going on right now, man. Just get up and do something. And people say, what are you guys doing? Well, somebody gotta put out some vibrations to combat all the other vibrations that are out there. You know what I'm saying? All the other dumb shit that's out there. You know what I mean? So that's what we're doing, man. We're breaking this shit down, man. So to the very last compound, there's no reason for you to not have to be still fighting the You know what I mean? Just like what Lord Jabbar said, man, it's money right here. It's right here. Y'all fighting for some pie in the sky when it's already shit already right here. Civil Rights, 1866 Civil Rights Act has nothing to do with Africans. It has everything to do with Americans, right? So these are what we're saying is to tap into the first American Declaration, the first American Council, the first American Agenda, right? We're pushing America. Whoever's not for that, it's not patriotic. You know what I'm saying? We the ultimate patriots. You know what I'm saying? So people be talking crazy. I'll be like, yo, this is weird. Like, what are you talking about? What's going on? Who are you talking to? Like, what's going on? Where'd you get this from? And that's what we just hear a lot of dumb shit all the time. It's a lot of dummies, you know, speaking for everybody too. That's another thing. We don't all think the same. Not all of us Aboriginals think the same. You know what I'm saying? We come in every shades and colors and sizes and the belief systems. Nobody believes the same. That's the craziest shit ever. You know what I mean? But one thing we all agree on, and this one thing that we can all say, okay, this is what I fuck with you. Like, we were here first. This is our shit. Can we all agree on that? Like, if we don't say nothing else, just agree on that. And understand the power that gives you in any office, any board meeting, in any club, any setting, McDonald's, Starbucks, university. You can walk around it, like, man, they like, why you walking around this, hugging the trees and shoes off and shit? Like, putting your shit up on the table and like, show shit. You home. Everybody else is guests. How about that? This shit crazy. Like, I'll be like, yo, what are you talking about? Who you talking to? When you go home? You don't like what we saying? When you go home? Like, you have someplace to be. If you don't like how this is gonna go, when you going home? So we're not asking for nothing. Like, we didn't put up a petition when we did the declaration. Shout out to Lieber, son. It was about this is putting everybody on notice, man. Like, the first draft is about putting everybody on notice. This is what this is about. You're on notice. Stop slandering. That's slander. You assuming that the 1866 Civil Rights Bill is only about your black ass. You assuming that the 1960 whatever fucking. Why would you have to have another civil rights bill if you had it in 1866? I'll wait. But we can get into that too. Like, we actually have timelines. We have to have dates and times of certain things, like to back up what we're saying, the actual documentation. Even if they try to burn some stuff up and rewrite it and change it up, it doesn't matter. There's actually other things, you know, ways to find stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just not on the computer. You have to look harder. And not all county buildings were burnt down. You know what I'm saying? That's just Southampton, Virginia. Where ironically, this is where everybody became slaves at. Where? Show us. Where? Where are the documents? How? How is this legal? I'll wait. Even with all the treaties and all the things that these people are having, none of what you guys are saying, which once again, if we already had these treaties working amongst ourselves, right? How to deal with our prisoners of war, how to deal with people that have been conquered, so on and so forth, right? These things, this was all a part of the great law of peace. Like, it was already ingrained in what we were doing. So I don't understand, like, what's going on. So it's just too slow, bro. Like, they say stuff to us, man, and make us think that everything is about them, that they brought it to us, and that's just slow to me, man. Like, we have to start thinking different. It doesn't make sense. It's really not. It's not making sense. So they got to make it make sense. So, and your ancient time is not 400 or 500 years ago, bro. Like, you got to get like back. Like I said, I start 10,000 BC. What does France and Spain look like 10,000 BC? What does America look like 10,000 BC? What are we talking about? What does Europe look like? What does Germany look like 10,000 BC? And they're actually documentations of what the people look like in these places 10,000 BC. So when you guys are saying stuff, talk to us like we talking 10,000 BC, okay? Stop talking to me about some slave times. Because I can guarantee you motherfuckers enslaved 10,000 BC. I can guarantee that. So the shit y'all saying, man, is just too slow, bro. Hey, whenever you're ready, man, to get into the video, man, we can get right on into it.
That's right. Hey, we got to shut this one down, though, and start a new one.
Oh, word?
Yeah. Shoot.
Okay, y'all. So, yeah,
All right, y'all. We're about to pull up part 2, y'all. It's already set up. Some of y'all should already be up in there. Yeah. Let me set it up. Oh, I already got it set up. All right, here. Huh?
Do we have to get out of this?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So, all right, y'all, man. We right back at y'all immediately.
Yeah, man. Part 2, man. The origin of America, the name America, man. Shout out to Kurimeo, man. Peace of the God, man. Yeah, man. Master teacher, man. It should have been it's probably the master teacher series, man, by the way. And yeah, we got to pull up more of them things too, man. Or just do some more. We're gonna do that. We just got to do some more, man. Shout out to Jaguar, man. Shout out to Aboriginal Power, man. Shout out to Continent One. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Aboriginal TV. Shout out to Santara, Time People, Time Machine. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them brothers, man. Shout out to UB, man. Shout out to Condra. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to African Americans, ain't Africans. Anybody I'm missing, man, my bad. Can't think of a lot of people right now, but anyway. Yeah, so we're gonna get right into this thing, man. Hey, man, shout out to all you great teachers in the chat room too, man. People that's passing this information down, man. That's what it's about, man. Just having evidence, right? This video right here was evidence that you can produce and present to somebody. You don't have to send them this one, but us talking on it. You can send them the actual video from Kurimeo. And then guess what? They're over there on this channel. Subscribe to Kurimeo's channel, by the way, dude. When they're over there on this channel, right, they're gonna see a whole bunch of like this. Like he has a series, it's like part 21. I'm like, what? Well, brother's putting in a bunch of work, man. Like so salute him. Like, if there was some recognition awards and stuff like that, he would definitely get one. Salute to Kurimeo.
Most definitely.
That's facts. Like, so y'all can respect that and check that too. So let's get right into this video, man. Yeah, that's what we got going on. And we'll see y'all in 2 seconds.
Yeah, everyone go over to
Big
part
to the tribe, man.
That's right.
Peace and love to everybody.